final.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
Where Scottish football lives.
This is Sports Sound with me, Richard Gordon, live from the National Stadium, Hampden Park, where we are very much on countdown to kick-off for the Premier Sports Cup final 2024-25. It is Celtic against Rangers, of course. The stadium filling up very nicely. The two sets of players have long since been out there and are going through their warm-ups. And we're now just about 27 minutes away from kick-off in this one. If you missed the team news earlier, Liam McLeod, our commentator, is on hand to run through that again for you.
Indeed, and it's the same Celtic 11 that started in Zagreb in the Champions League on Tuesday. So Alistair Johnston is fit to play. Schmeichel in goal, looking to improve on his 16 clean sheets in 24 appearances at the start of his Celtic career. So Johnston, Carter, Vickers, Trusty and Taylor across the back. Bernardo, McGregor, Hatate in midfield. Kuhn and Kyogo and Maida leading the line. Of course, Maida scored a hat-trick in the semi-finals. Kyogo has just about won this trophy single-handedly a couple of times when he was under the tutelage of Ange Postecoglou at Celtic, when he got the 2 goals against Hibs and then got the 2 goals against Rangers to lift the 2 League Cups that the Aussie won. The Celtic bench: Sinisalo, Scales, Palma, Ida, Baye, Yang, Engels, Forrest and Ralston. For Rangers, 2 changes from Thursday night's eventful Europa League draw against Tottenham Hotspur. Balogun and Hadji in for the injured Suter. Ridvan Yilmaz goes to the bench. So Butland in goal, Tavernier, Balogun, Proper and Jefte, Diamonde and Raskin, Cherny, Bayrami, Hadji and Igaman, who's been the man of the moment for Rangers, leading the line. The bench for them: Kelly, Yilmaz, Barron, Dessers, Dowell, Sterling, King, McCausland, Danilo. The ref's John Beaton. The video assistant is Alan Muir. And throughout the afternoon, Richard, I think you mentioned this earlier, we will be doing score lines, and it will be Celtic we'll be reading out first, because they are nominally listed as the home team this afternoon for the 24-25 League Cup final,
which everyone, I'm sure, is looking forward to. All the action with us here on Sports Sound. Pat Bonner and Billy Dodds are here. Willie Miller is here. Tom English too, and you can get Tom's thoughts later at the website, bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. Right, Willie Miller, I came to you right at the start of the programme. You've said then Celtic, the best team in the country. He's gone with what is clearly his favoured starting lineup right now, Brendan Rodgers. There have been a couple of changes in that Rangers team, and they are clearly hoping that they can topple Celtic. You've had more chance now just to sit and digest the teams, to have a look through them. Where, in particular, in the field, on the pitch, do you see this game being won and lost for either side?
Well, it's normally won from the point of view of what you do going forward, Richard, isn't it? I think, defensively, as far as Rangers are concerned, John Suter is missing. I think that's a major issues for them. I think as far as Celtic are concerned, then this is the strongest side that Brendan Rodgers could put out. Kyogo, he's a player, maybe not hitting the numbers in terms of goals this season, but he's always on the move. He's a player that you have got to try as much as you can, and it's really, really difficult, I think, because he kind of plays in your shoulder, never gets in your eye line, tends to come from the blind spot in front of you, and before you know it, it's hitting the back of the net. I think Carter Vickers is a really important player for Celtic. I think he's the strongest defender that they've got. He is the one that you feel that the defence rely on if they need, any kind of a physicality, any kind of a, real defensive thinking. He's the man they'll turn to. I watched Maeda tear Aberdeen apart, with that hat-trick in the semi-final. So, Celtic are packed with players going forward. 2 fullbacks as well get forward. It's a forward-thinking team, and Rangers have got to cope with that. As far as Rangers are concerned, I think the 2 sitting midfield players have got a big job to do. They've got to try and protect, the 2 central defenders. Don't know many times they've played together this season. Don't think it's too many, is it? They obviously have played together, but Proper, maybe the weaker one. And I think the goalkeepers are really important too. I think Jack Butland, a very, very good goalkeeper for Rangers, high level goalkeeper, and Schmeichel, you know, capable of making the important saves as we've seen in recent games, and also very good with the ball at his feet. So, you know, I think it's a mixture. I still feel that Celtic are, you know, the front favourites for this one, and if they turn up and if they play, then I think they'll win it. But I'm not taking anything away from Philippe Clement and recent performances and recent energetic performances. And if they can reproduce that, then they've still got a chance.
There is an awful lot there, isn't there, for us to all digest, and we'll do so in a moment or two. But there has been some early drama at Rugby Park. Brian McLaughlin.
Yeah, Kilmarnock, we've only played for 6.5 minutes, Richard, but Kilmarnock down to 10 men. Robbie Dees initially shown a yellow card by referee Don Robertson for a challenge on Kenneth Vargas, but VAR intervened and Gavin Duncan called referee Don Robertson over to the screen, and the yellow was changed to a red. And looking at the replays, Richard, it looks like the correct call. Hearts have started the game very brightly indeed. In the first minute, a Blair Spittle corner deep to the back post found Craig Halkett all alone. His volley though came back off the base of the post and then cleared away. But although it's still 0-0, Kilmarnock now have to play for the vast majority of this game with 10 men.
Well, Derek McInnes did touch on this in his chat with Brian beforehand. He talked about the disciplinary record. I mean, it is remarkable. That's a 7th red card of the season already for Kilmarnock. Joe Wright's had 2, Liam Donnelly's had a couple, Stuart Finlay and Brad Lyons also sent off. And now in the very early stages of what is a massive game for Kilmarnock against Hearts, they are down once again to 10 men as Robbie Dees is shown red. They've had more red cards than any other team in the country. Dumbarton and Montrose both on 6 sendings off this season. Kilmarnock on to 7, and you can't help but feel it's going to be a long old road ahead, long tough road ahead for Kilmarnock, with 10 men for virtually the entire 90 minutes of that one. Still goalless. Incidentally, SWPL earlier, most of the matches kicking off earlier, and there was a significant victory for Glasgow City against Rangers as they won by 3-0. Natalia Robel with with a hat-trick in that encounter, and Glasgow City now 2 points clear of Rangers, 4 points clear of Hearts, and considerably clear of both Hibernian and Celtic, both of whom have games in hands now. But a significant victory for Glasgow City against Rangers by 3-0. Elsewhere, it's Queen's Park 1, Dundee United 2, Hibernian 4, Motherwell 0, Spartans 0, Hearts 2. Partick Thistle against Montrose due to kick off at 4 o'clock. It's still goalless in the Premiership, 9 minutes in now. But remember, Killie down to 10 men following the very early sending off of Robbie Dees. So as far as the cup finalist goes, Willie talking there about the various points. Highlighted Celtic either end of the park, Pats, Carter Vickers, the defensive strength, Kyogo, the talisman, I suppose, and of course a great record of last time Celtic won the trophy. He got the 2 goals against Rangers here at Hampden Park. What about the relationship that seems to be the preferred one now for Brendan Rodgers of Carter Vickers and Trusty at the back? Are you happy with how that settled in?
Yeah, I think so. I think most of us would say that that's a very good partnership in the sense that it's well balanced. Both of them have got pace. Obviously, Trusty's decent in the air because of his size. Carter Vickers isn't quite the same height, but is very, very strong physically. And he, apart from that, one OG that he scored, which was unfortunate for him. But I think overall, you see him putting in tackles, you see him putting in making good decisions, and that's what it's about. But they also build the game really well, and you've seen Carter Vickers and some of the games also. If Callum McGregor is picked up, he's the one that'll go travelling to midfield, and then he can pass the ball, and he never gives the ball really away and puts it at risk. So that to me is, I think, the modern centre half, and the two of them do it very well. But when you push fullbacks forward into forward positions, you need to then be able to read the game, and you also need to be very, very quick at the back, because that's where you can get exposed. And I think that both of them have, I think, those competences in abundance, and I think, listen, anything can go wrong, on a day like this. You could get somebody sent off, or and the other area where Celtic just at times need to be really clued in at set pieces, you know, especially corners, free kicks and that. They don't have a lot of height in the team apart from the two of them. You know, if you take out, you know, Adam Ida out of the team, then replace him with Kyogo. Kyogo's small, he'll do a job. Johnson does a bit of a job in that position. I'm looking around. McGregor does a bit of a job, but they haven't got a lot of height in the team. Goalkeeper won't come for a lot of crosses. We know that from Schmeichel. If he comes, he'll punch. A bit like Andy Gorham in the old days, that type of goalkeeper. So that's maybe the most vulnerable, I think, that they are from a defensive perspective. I was going to talk to Billy about Rangers, just that midfield situation. When I talk about midfield, I talk about the three. I don't talk just about the two sitting midfield players. The job, whether it's Hadji or Barami that's playing in it, McGregor, they have to be really concentrated, and they have to have almost a defensive brain on them. There's a number of ways I think that teams have set up against Celtic this year. We've seen Bruges come and they controlled the game in the first 20 minutes because they played with two diamonds and the full-backs pushed forward, and they got on the ball and kept the ball off Celtic. It frustrated Celtic a little bit. That's one way. The other way is what Aberdeen did, high up the pitch at the game at Parkhead, pressing them and real high, but you need high energy. And then Aberdeen away in that last game up in Pittodrie, they almost play with a mid-block, but they still had three players fairly high to put a little bit of pressure on the centre halves when they got the ball, and McGregor. And then, of course, most teams come and play with a very low block, defending the box. So it'll be really interesting what Rangers, and they've got to take care, I think, today of the inverted fullbacks, and especially Johnson on that right hand side when he links in with Kuhn. He'll go on the inside, he'll go on the outside, and that's then, is it a midfielder that's going to take him? Is it Proper, who's not the quickest? Is it the wide guy that's going to help the fullback? So that's the bit that I see Celtic still been able to really can maybe an upper hand on Rangers in those areas if they do it properly.
There's plenty to ponder, Richard, with Rangers. Can they keep out Kyogo, Maeda and Kuhn? Liam touched on it. He's practically won the cup himself and Tavernier, he's given him a hard time. Kuhn at Jeffrey as well, and can the back two keep out Kyogo? But can they also be a threat when Taylor and, as Pat's alluding to, Johnson getting forward, that if it's Hadji or if it's Bayrami out there, can they get a wee half cheat to go and get on the other end? Hibs was another team, Pat, even last week, created chances because the full-backs vacated their area. Willie's touched on that defensive side. Can teams catch him out when Celtic are attacking? That's a bit of cat and mouse. Do you play it? So there's plenty to ponder for Rangers. It's about being nice and rock solid. Can they keep Celtic's threats out, which comes from all over the pitch? They've got to make sure they do a man-for-man job. I don't know if Hadji or Bayrami's capable of doing that for Johnson, or will it be a pass-on job? But can they keep and snuff out Celtic's threats and make sure that they can definitely get at that Celtic defence? Eagerman, I'm really looking forward to see if we can test those two centre halves you're talking about, Richard.
Going to be fascinating. Most of the Celtic players are going back up the tunnel, other than the subs, and the Rangers players were just doing so as well. And then I look down and I see Daisen Maeda. It's not as if he runs enough during the 90 minutes. He stayed out longer, and he was just doing shuttles back and forth across the pitch, Tom. It's incredible to see. I mean, we know the level of fitness he has, but wow.
Yeah, he likes a good sprint, doesn't he? And he's got a very good track record in scoring early in these games as well. Not just being influential throughout the game, but striking early and setting the agenda. I mean, I agree with all the lads, what the lads are saying. And I mean, it's a recurring theme for me. I have said, and I'm repeating myself again, for the last 3 years, ahead of all of these games, pretty much, I have said the biggest secret to this game is, can Rangers silence Callum McGregor? And I'm saying the same thing again today, because they haven't been able to do it. So if they can't do it today, I think they lose the game. Now, that's not just the only thing they have to do. They have to silence Kyogo and Maeda and Kuhn and Hatate and Bernardo. Five of the front six, if you had the 3 and the 3, have scored goals in this game before. You know, that they're seasoned winners, not just of trophies, but of Old Firm matches. They know how to get it done. And McGregor ties it all together. Can Raskin and Diomande, particularly Diomande with his engine on him, can they neutralise Callum McGregor? If they can, if you said yes, Rangers are going to neutralise Callum McGregor today, then I think we have a game. But if McGregor is allowed to dictate the tempo and have the influence that he always has, I don't think Rangers win.
Yeah, last week in Zagreb, the man marked Callum McGregor in the middle of the pitch, and that was why Carter Vickers was travelling into midfield and being the player. But they did it very well. But that takes real concentration, because McGregor's always on the move, Tom, and you're absolutely right to highlight that. He's the one that dictates the flow of the game for Celtic, and then you get pushed back, and suddenly then Celtic start creating chances. But that takes a real special player to be up against him, and that's my question about Barami, or is it Hadji? Have they got those qualities, Billy?
It's that discipline you're talking about, and Tom's right to say that with McGregor. You think he's not hurt, and he really is, because he's dictating play. His passes are moving people about. His passes are moving people out of position. His runs are moving other people, and it's freeing people up. You have no idea what he does to you, and that's a biggie. I've mentioned a few things going on. There is intriguing one-to-one battles all over the pitch, but I think if you can snuff out McGregor by somebody doing a disciplined job on him, I think you've got half a chance.
Yeah. Well, let's quickly go to Rugby Park. More action for Brian McLaughlin.
It's a penalty, and it's for Kilmarnock. Joe Wright tumbled down inside the box after a challenge by James Penrice. It's going to be Bruce Anderson to step up. There was a VAR check, but the penalty stands. Bruce Anderson, right-footed, up against Craig Gordon, and straight down the middle, and Kilmarnock down to 10 men. We've played 18 minutes here at Rugby Park, and it's Kilmarnock 1, Hearts 0.
Well, down to 10 men, but in front, Bruce Anderson. 3 penalties this season. He has scored them all. It's his 5th goal of the campaign, and despite that early sending off, it is Kilmarnock 1, Heart of Midlothian 0 at Rugby Park. We are now, what, about 11 minutes away from kickoff. The pitch has been cleared of the players. The ground staff are out. They've got the Premier Sports Cup archway out there, which the players will be lined up along either side of. So we are getting ever closer to kickoff in this first major final of the season. Let's hear what some of the supporters had to say as they were making their way in. Our man Martin Dowden caught up with them.
We're here for Celtic Rangers Cup final. How do you feel it's going to go today, and are you worried at all about Rangers maybe being in a bit of a resurgence?
No chance at all. Very confident Celtic 2-0 today.
What do you think?
I think they'll definitely win. Yeah, Celtic all the way.
What are you basing that on?
Basing on Celtic as a team. Just think they're a really good team, and I feel like we've done so well over the past few months, so we're definitely going to win.
After Thursday in particular, how are you feeling about Rangers' chances?
Well, a better performance hopefully, and really hope we're in the game and hopefully smiling come 6 o'clock.
What do you think?
Much like Scott, as long as we compete, get at them, not stand off them, I'm confident.
I'll come to the real expert, you. But listening to them talking, what do you think? How do you think Rangers are going to do today?
I think we might have a chance tonight when we played against Spurs.
So, are we going to win?
Definitely.
I heard a wee rumour or a wee angle today that said that maybe Celtic aren't firing in all cylinders. What do you think of that?
Well, they're doing off day every now and then, yeah, but today they'll come to the floor. I predict Celtic 2-0 very easily.
Do you think the expectation levels has risen among Celtic fans in terms of what you demand now, given the success that you've had?
Yeah, you could say that, but Rangers are, don't get me wrong, over the past couple of weeks they've came to the floor, but I still think Celtic's too strong for them in every department. Substitutes bench, we've got near enough for first team on the bench, so yeah, I think we could do it. We'll do it easily.
He's been burned a few times against Brendan Rodgers in particular. Why do you think it would be different?
I think every game's different. A cup final, regardless of who's playing, you've always got a chance. I don't think you can come in expecting to get beat. Hopefully win, hope it's a good game and see what happens.
There seems to be a bit of a shift after the game on Thursday. A lot of people, I don't know if that includes you guys, were saying the manager needs to win these games. Is that how you feel today? Does he have to win this game?
On paper it looks as if Rodgers has got the hex over us, but it's not one on paper. If we turn up, compete, fight hard, that's all that any of us want and expect. Actually, we expect that today in a final, an Old Firm final as well.
There you go, some of the fans as they were making their way in. I guess all of those will be in their seats. There are very few spaces as you look around the National Stadium right now. We're getting very close to the kickoff. The light show is underway. They have got the pyrotechnics over on the far side, and it will be a show that they will put on, I'm sure. The players will be out shortly. The action about to begin. The cup final is coming up live.
Celtic. Rangers. The Scottish League Cup final. Live on Sportsound from BBC Radio Scotland.
And that's a wonderful goal! Celtic 6, Aberdeen 0. Shoots deflected and in! It is Motherwell 1, Rangers 2. Rangers are through to the 24-25 League Cup final on December the 15th when they faced Celtic in a derby for the League Cup.
The Scottish League Cup final, live on Sportsound.
There's always great anticipation around these games.
It's going to be a really good clash with two good teams.
Now it's a final, and yeah, winner takes all.
It's about wanting to win every game, every competition, everything you play for.
It's here to win, and we have to go and win it.
It's about this game, with these players, lifting that trophy on Sunday.
Celtic versus Rangers. The Scottish League Cup final. Live on Sportsound from BBC Radio Scotland.
And we are inside the National Stadium as we await the arrival of the teams. They're all poised down there at the end of the tunnel. The photographers, the cameramen, the various officials who are in charge of trying to ensure that this event passes off without a hitch. The two sets of fans well and truly settled into their seats. Still, the light show continues around Hampden as the teams are announced one final time for the spectators. The faces flashing up on the giant screens. One of those faces will be the hero come the end of the afternoon as we move into the evening. But right now, no way of knowing who it is who is going to write their name large across this first cup final of this season. One game in the Premiership. It's been incident-packed in the early stages. Robbie Dees sent off for Kilmarnock with just 6 minutes on the clock, but Bruce Anderson has subsequently scored from the penalty spot. So Kilmarnock still lead by 1-0 against Heart of Midlothian. That would ensure that Hearts would remain bottom of the table come the end of the weekend. The official pyrotechnics down by the side of the pitch are starting to send the flames shooting up into the already darkening sky here on the south side of Glasgow. We await to see what either set of supporters might have to offer in that respect. Certainly the SPFL sending out a statement in advance, warning fans, reminding everyone that it is illegal to smuggle such pyrotechnics inside stadiums. And of course, there was a big issue when it came to the semi-finals as we had to wait for the pitch, for the area to clear. Right now, no such sign of anything from either side. Will that change over the next few minutes? We'll find out. Still we wait for the arrival of the teams. It is a massive moment of expectation. The two sets of supporters desperate to see their side lift that silverware come the end of the action. The trophy itself is sitting down below between the tunnels, between the dugouts, on a little plinth. It is shining in the floodlights, and we can see from the monitor here that Brendan Rodgers and his players are now in that tunnel. James Tavernier has just led some of his teammates down there. Handshake with John Beaton, the referee, Philippe Clement there too, and he's just reached across and he's patted Brendan Rodgers on the back and exchanged greetings with him. Both managers looked and sounded very relaxed earlier. Certainly John Beaton looks pretty relaxed as he stands there. And now he makes his way out. He picks up the match ball. He walks past the trophy and he is followed by the two managers, by the two captains and the rest of the players. who will be doing battle as the action gets up and running here at Hampden. It is fair to say that the supporters and many more at the Celtic ends have indeed smuggled the pyrotechnics inside. So once again we have the smoke drifting and bellowing around this stadium, rolling under the stand roof here at Hampden Park. I'm not sure that it looks like it's going to be quite as bad as it was for the semi-finals. There is some over at the Rangers end, but considerably more off to our right as the two sets of players line up. The Rangers manager leads his men along the line for the pre-match handshakes, and before too long the action will be up and running. You hear much more later from Tom English and from Willie Miller. Right now, your commentary team for the Premier Sports Cup final, live here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland, is Pat Bonner, Billy Dodds, and quickly disappearing in the smoke here in the main stand, unfortunately, Liam McLeod.
Well, it is blustery tonight, or today, so it's certainly got that on the semi-finals, where there was barely a breath of wind, which was a problem when it came to the smoke from the pyro, which is swirling around Hampden Park. The 17th time that these two have met in the League Cup final, and 33rd Cup final overall between them, following May's Scottish Cup final, which Celtic won thanks to Adam Ida's late goal. It's also the third League Cup final between them in the last 5 years, which will clearly whet the appetite of the supporters of both these clubs. And there's been some humdingers down the years. The first one between them, 1956-57, Celtic racking up that record 7-1 victory, despite Rangers being favourites before that match by all accounts. It remains the biggest margin of victory and defeat in a cup final in the UK. Celtic didn't actually win a major honour until 1965 after that seminal success, but there's been many other ones down the years. Derek Johnston as a 16-year-old winning the final in 1970-71, the McCoist hat-trick in the 83-84 final, Lovenkrands and Caniggia in what was part of a treble under Alec McLeish for Rangers in 02-03. Walter Smith winning his last domestic cup competition in 2011. Extra time it took. Jelavic scored the winner. Julian with the winner in 2019 for Neil Lennon's side, after Brendan Rodgers had led them to the two previous League Cups, and a double from Kyogo Furuhashi settled the last final between them in this competition, as they won 2-1 a couple of years ago. The Celtic players break out from their huddle. Through the smoke we can see both sets of players. I'm not sure if there will be a slight delay to kick off. I think there is going to be a minute or so the players are doing a little bit of a warm-up, knocking the ball amongst each other. The TV pictures, I mean, it's not entirely clear, so they'll wait and just give it a chance to try and get rid of the smoke over the course of the next couple of minutes. It's come from both ends, and it is swirling and swooping around the stadium. Can't see the north stand fully from where we are in the media gantry, which is just beyond the halfway point up the main south stand. But it won't be long before these two have the chance to get it on. And the second time this season, of course, Celtic running up a 3-0 scoreline in the league meeting in early September. And Brendan Rodgers will be eyeing up that kind of afternoon today. The two managers down there, they've done their bit. There's no more they can do other than offer encouragement and advice from the touchline. It will be all down to the 22 players who are out there, and Celtic going through this unbridled period of success over the course of more than a decade now. They've been cleaning up. Rangers have managed 3 trophies in that time, major ones, one of each. And it will be time for the game to get underway now, but it really has been Celtic and all about Celtic over the course of the last 12, 13 years. The game is good to go. As you can hear from the raucous reception in the background, Rangers are going to kick off. They're going to go from left to right towards the Tory Glen east end of the stadium. And Celtic in the green and white hoops, right to left towards Mount Florida. Rangers in their blue shirts, white shorts, black socks with the red tops. Kick off, and it's rolled back to Leon Balogun. And the 79th Scottish League Cup final is underway here in Glasgow. And Rangers give it away in the midfield, and it's McGregor picking it up and rolling it low forward to Taylor, to Hatate. Back towards Taylor, who looks for Kuhn, where it's cut out, and Rangers have it with Raskin. He and Diamonde will be important for Rangers today. They were both excellent against Tottenham during the week, and that's a lovely ball by Tierney down the right for Bayrami. But Bernardo's in the way, and it's out for a Rangers throw-in level with the edge of the D of the Celtic penalty area. Tavernier takes it quickly, he's looking for Tierney, he's found him, but it's a poor touch. Might not even have got a touch on the ball, it's gone right through him and behind for a goal kick to Celtic. It's going to be very interesting to see how quickly these two teams settle in this cup final as it breaks to Tavernier, down the line for Diamonde, to the right angle of the box for Bayrami. Bright start by Rangers this, and we've got the cup final's first corner. A sliding Trusty puts it behind after Nadeem Bayrami was threatening.
Yeah, really good start from Rangers, taking a quick throw in from Tavernier and really getting Tierney in. Just a miss kick with plenty of bodies in the box as well, and then through ball, and Bayrami's I think it was Trusty, tries for the cross, and it's well defended and blocked away for a corner, but really good start from Rangers.
Yanis Hadji over the corner on this near side, and it comes headed away by McGregor, who's never ever lost a cup final, be it in the senior team or at youth level. He has won every single cup final he's played in, and they've got a free kick here, Celtic, but a foul on Taylor, and this is about midway inside their own half on this near side. Packie Bonner, what a proud record Callum McGregor has in these showpieces.
Yes, and you know, he is a leader now. He drives his team on, and we talked a lot extensively about how important he is to Celtic before the game is start. But Rangers have got in about this game, as we probably expect a little bit, getting the tackles and stopping Celtic from building the game up as they like to do. They're high up the pitch.
Well, they ransacked Alistair Johnston over on the far side. It was a little bit sloppy from Johnston, who was a fitness doubt coming into this game. Back to the edge of their own box for Carter Vickers, who squares it to Trusty. And then infield to Taylor, now with Carter Vickers. He strides up to just outside the centre circle, he squares it to Trusty, who goes back to Kasper Schmeichel, who's more often than not picked up clean sheets this season domestically. Couple in the Champions League as well. As Carter Vickers goes long, underneath it's Tavernier who heads it away. It looked like it might be coming through to Butland there. It's going to be picked up by Diamonde, but he's lost it to McGregor. Not a particularly good area for him to do so either. Out wide right for Kuhn. He's taking on Jeff Day. A couple of players around him. Raskin's there, and Raskin emerges with it. Little ball out to Jeff Day on the far side. Celtic keep it in play though as Johnston wins it back. It's now with McGregor. McGregor looks up at the box. Low ball into the area, looking for Bernardo, is cut out, and Rangers can come away with it with Hadji, and it's moved into the middle area of the pitch and then flighted out to this right-hand side for Tierney by Bayrami. Václav Tierney tries to step away from Maida. He's given it away. It's so cheap from Rangers. Here comes Maida. No sign of Tavernier right now. He's gone up the pitch. It's Maida, left-hand side of the box. Diamonde battling to try and prevent Maida from causing damage. He's forced him out wide onto this near side. Taylor's there in support. Still it's Maida. He's managed to squeeze it up towards Taylor, who gets there ahead of Bayrami. Now it's McGregor to Taylor. Tavernier all over him, and out it goes for a Celtic throw-in on this near side.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity for Maeda. I thought he kind of hesitated a little bit. He got into a great position. Nobody was coming to deal with him initially, and I thought he could have just driven on and get that ball across almost a 6-yard box, because Kyogo was waiting to make the little run off his movement.
I think you're right, Pat, but eventually Diamande did brilliantly, got himself across. He said they're going to have to adjust from midfield at times. He does that, and he stops Celtic Maeda going forward, and eventually the move breaks down. So Tavernier caught the pitch, as you mentioned, Liam. I thought Rangers might be in trouble there, but they see it out by Diamande doing the right thing defensively.
Despite a kind of a bright start by Rangers, couple of slack balls, you can soon be on the back foot against the Celtic side.
Better in possession have to be at times.
Long ball looking for Egeman, it might break left-hand side of the area. It's Yanis Hadji across the face of goal. Schmeichel parries and it's cleared by Carter Vickers and out for a Rangers throw-in. Level with the Celtic 6-yard line over on the north stand side.
Yeah, it was a really good ball. It was played over the top of Carter Vickers by Yami, and Johnson, I think he didn't have any alternative but to come in and try and cover him because Carter Vickers was struggling, and the two of them then collided. Johnson recovered really well, I've got to say, when Hadji picked the ball up, because it looked as if Hadji had all the time in the world maybe to control it and get a shot away, but he was up quickly and got his block in.
Egeman did well. He's a handful because he doesn't win the ball, but he just puts the body in between the two of them, puts him off balance. The flick on sets Hadji in, but it's a decent stop by Schmeichel. No on-rushing Rangers player. He's palmed it out, but it took a deflection. But certainly, as he alluded to, Liam, it's been a really good and bright start for Rangers.
Celtic have it on the far side. Kuhn, he's lost out though, but the referee didn't like the challenge. John Beaton, who's in charge of his third League Cup final this afternoon. He did the ones in 2016 and 2021. The latter Celtic beating Hibs. Having been a goal down that day, equalised almost instantly. Kyogo got both, as he did the year later against Rangers. Those two successes for Postecoglou in this tournament. Trusty picks up from Carter Vickers on this near side, rolls it into the Rangers half. Now it's Hatate stepping away from Diamonde, shows too much of it to Raskin though. Diamonde's on it, finds Czerny. Czerny's first time ball though goes straight to Trusty, but there was a foul, says the referee, and Rangers have a free kick just inside their own half on this near side.
Yeah, Hatate got into a great position there, the ball's but his first touch was poor, and he allowed in Diamonde to get in and put a tackle in on him. And just that little bit of composure on the ball from Hatate is lacking at the moment.
Free kick flighted forward, headed away by Trusty, breaks it in the middle of the park for Bernardo, flips it out to the right hand side for Johnston, who's got a bit of space and time here as he takes it up towards the halfway line. And as Johnston accelerates away from Hadji, up the line for Nicolas Kuhn, he steps in field. Square ball for Greg Taylor, who pops up right midfield as he loves to do. There's Kuhn on the far side to Bernardo, out wide right there for Taylor on the touchline. It's on the opposite side of the pitch where he is officially posted. Now it's with Bernardo, it's level with the Rangers penalty spot. He rolls it back up the line for McGregor, who squares it low infield for Trusty. Celtic trying to get into their stride here. It's 0-0 after 7.5 minutes. Celtic give it away. Tavernier's onto it on this near side. Little ball back towards Balogun, wasn't the best one, and Maida's in behind. Balogun reacts brilliantly. Superb defending. Diamonde skips away from Bernardo. He's been fouled by Bernardo as well on the edge of his own box. It is a Rangers free kick, but Billy dodged. That was outstanding defending from Leon Balogun, because Maida, he's buzzing in like a wasp on a mission there, in behind the defender. Balogun reacted so well because Maida looked like he was having a charging on goal there.
Had to be as well, and it had to be timed, because I'm thinking he's wrong side, he's got the pace. It's a brilliantly timed tackle, isn't it? It wasn't great from Tavernier. He did well initially, gives the ball away. Maeda is inside Leon Balogun, and Balogun gets a long leg out just to get a bit in the ball to turn it away at a vital time, as he could have given away a penalty. Brilliant defending.
Maida trying to buy a free kick that's not forthcoming. Rangers have it on the cusp of the final third, but they give it away again. A few loose ones from Václav Černý in the early stages of this game. The smoke is pretty much all gone. The rain though swirling around Hampden. Dreich late afternoon here in early winter, as Johnston sends it out to the right there, looking for Kuhn. It was over his head though, and out for a Rangers throw-in over on the far side. Just wondered how open this game would be, because the Scottish Cup final between them at the end of May here was a pretty stodgy affair. It was settled by that late Ida goal. It was looking like it was going to extra time. It was a game that lacked quality, it lacked chances, as Butland gets rid of it just as Kyogo slid in, giving him no time whatsoever. Černý can't control it. Taylor sidesteps beautifully away from the check and rolls it infield to Callum McGregor. And out to Johnston on the right inside channel, back to Carter Vickers, he goes back to Schmeichel. He knocks it there to Trusty, and then to Kasper Schmeichel. A dodgy ball to his right there to Carter Vickers, with Ekman in close attendance, but he found his teammate anyway. And And it's a defeat to Carter Vickers, who squares it to Trusty. No goals in the early stages of this one.
Both goalkeepers showing a bit of calmness, Pat. A bit too calm for my liking, because being closed down both times, but got away with it.
Here comes Celtic down the right with Kuhn, who's having a wonderful season. He's away from one, he's away from two, gets into the box, but heavy touch allows Robin Proper to clear with the left foot. Of course, no John Souttar for Rangers this afternoon, as Ikeman is fouled by Carter Vickers over on that far side. And Rangers are going to have a free kick just inside their own half, and Ikeman appears to be in trouble here.
Yeah, he's just got listen, he'll be fine. He just got one of them in the solar plexus just as he come across it, as Carter Vickers was about to clear the ball, and it was a high ball. I'm just wondering, there was nothing really in it, maybe a little elbow or something, but very, very little. But it can wound you, we know that, and if you're wounded, it's a pretty sore one. You've got to find a little bit of time just to recover your breath.
Just being helped to his feet just now, the Moroccan. Scored his 6th goal for Rangers the other night against Tottenham. It was a performance of energy and vibrancy that perhaps hasn't been seen too often by the Rangers supporters of their team this season, but there's certainly been flickers of life in the last month. They haven't lost since that defeat at Pittodrie. There was the disappointing 1-1 draw at home to Dundee United, and amongst all that, but by and large it's been an improved level that they have shown in recent times. As Balogun rolls it back to Butland just at the penalty spot, he takes it, he's got the ball at his feet. Hatate trying to close him down, he gets rid of it, long ball. Ikeman trying to put the pressure on Johnston, right down by the byline. Johnston barged to the ground, and that will be a Celtic free kick deep inside their own half. 11.5 in, Celtic 0, Rangers 0.
I was going to say Celtic playing a really high line, obviously right up on the halfway line when the goalkeeper Butland has the ball, and that ball over the top was always slightly on, and he has got a bit of pace, Ikeman, isn't he? You know, that ball just was played into an area where if he didn't push him, I think Johnson was under a little bit of pressure.
Brendan Rodgers down there has the best winning percentage in this fixture in the history of the games between these two. Hatate goes all the way back to Schmeichel. Just the one defeat to Rangers. It was a Ryan Jack goal that settled the game at Ibrox. He's down there with his hands in his pockets. Philippe Clement to his left. Always nervy affairs, though they're cool customers, the two of them, as Czerny knocks it forward, looking for Ikeman. Trusty will get there first, though. And he rolls it back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's interesting, you know, both teams are kind of almost, they're putting on that sort of mid-block. Again, we talk about it, pressing, but there's spaces in behind, and I think I was watching also when Rangers had the ball, Celtic sort of was leaving the likes of Berami and almost to leave him to the centre half for them to step out and deal with him. And if they could find a little ball through there, and likewise Celtic the same. Hatate's get into good positions. Demondi's pushing up a little bit onto trying to press the ball a little bit, and there is spaces in there. And whatever team can deal and find those little passes into space could create something.
Celtic with Johnston back into the centre circle from the right position to Taylor, and then out to Trusty on the touchline on this near side. Here's Maida all over in this Tavernier. Will be so keen to do well against Maida, and he's done well on that occasion. Rangers win it back, and it's with Bayrami down the right hand side. Diamonde chasing. Carter Vickers with the challenge, comes off him and out for a throw in, though it did appear to take a little nick off Diamonde right in front of David McGeehee, who's the South Stand linesman.
Yeah, I thought that was a silly ball.
Oh, definitely. I think there's a thing, is it too close that you can't see it? I don't know, but it was so easy to spot from up here. They just got away with one there.
Yeah, back with Butland, long ball forward into the Celtic half. Carter Vickers with the header, straight to Diamonde though, looking for Ikeman, headed away by Carter Vickers again. Here's Bernardo picking up, it's a long ball for Bernardo, looking to spring Nicolas Kuhn on the right, and he's done so. What a ball! Kuhn motors past Proper, he's in! Kuhn, Butler makes the save, breaks back to Hatate, his effort's blocked! Kuhn heads it back into the area, and Rangers clear through Jefty, and it stays Celtic 0, Rangers 0. But I have to say, that looked like a Celtic goal all day long.
Oh, there's a big chance. The pace of Kuhn initially getting by. I'm not sure who the first player was, but as soon as he went by proper, he had no chance of catching him, and he was right into the box. And that was could he have cut it back? I'm wondering. It got very tight at the last one when Butland came out. I just wonder whether he could have squared it. But it was a big chance for Sam. Just watching it here, he could have.
Yeah, he could have, but once he's opened up, I think he's got to try and take on the shot. He doesn't. That allows Butland. He tried to get around Butland instead of maybe hitting the shot. But there you said that. I said it was one of the intriguing duels, and you get a 1-on-1 on proper. He's not quick at all. Listen, Kuhn is quick. He's a flying machine at times. But my word, you got to deepen off. But you got in a foot race, and I'm thinking, oh no, son, you're in trouble. And he probably gave him 5 yards, got the other side, just had to open up
great
slot.
Reverse ball. Keogh goes on to right hand side of the box. He volleys for goal, and Butland holds on at his near post.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Just one long ball. It's caught out the Rangers defence cold. And Keogh, as he loves to do, Packy, playing on the shoulder, in behind, and he shoots at Butland.
Yeah, listen, it was a great run. It was wide, well wide of the post. It was ambitious at the end up, but we've seen who was the Van Basten in the European Championship final that I played in. Scored an unbelievable goal against, at that time, USSR, and that was it. But he just couldn't get the ball over the top of Jack Butland on that occasion. But what a good run and a good pass.
It's that area. If I'm Brendan Rodgers, I'm saying to Kyogo, look, you can go up against Balogun, you can see with the tackling Maeda, he's pretty quick, but when you get the other side of proper, there's no recovery, and it's a good attempt, but well saved.
Here comes McGregor for Celtic. They're looking good the last few minutes. Maeda gets away from Tavernier, only just, but Raskin's there to win it back for Rangers. Here's Diamonde, rolls it out wide right for Czerny. Czerny now in the Celtic half, right of the centre circle, stabs it to the left for Diamonde. He'll roll it with the left foot out to the left-hand side for Jefty. Jefty driving forward, Johnston slips, Jefty skips into the area. His ball across is cut out. Johnston gets away with one there, but it's gone through his legs, and Rangers come again. Jefty on the far side, level with the Celtic 6-yard line. Back to Hadji, who finds Jefty. Now Diamonde, Rangers at 4, in and around the box. In comes the cross, flicked away by Trusty. Tavernier will accept the throw-in on this near side, level with the Celtic penalty spot. It is 0-0, almost at the end of 17 minutes at Hampden. It is Czerny, picks up, moves it to the right of the box for Bayrami. He's won the corner, he's getting one as well. A Rangers corner down this near side. Celtic have looked a little bit jittery at the back in these relatively early exchanges.
Yeah, they're slipping and sliding a little bit around the place. Johnson slips that time, and Chetji was in and really probably should have done much better. I think could he have taken on the shot rather than maybe squared on this occasion, because he was almost free himself. Test the goalkeeper early on, make the goalkeeper save it.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. But that's because Rangers are asking them the question. Too many times Celtic just play for the back, team sit in. Today Rangers are in their faces and asking the question, and they had runners in there in the box, but couldn't find one. Jefty.
Hadji to take, in swinger with the left foot from this near side. It's another poor one, his last one wasn't great. Breaks back out to him on this near side. Rolls it to the right angle of the box for Tavernier, controls with the undersole and bends it in with the right. There's a header at goal which is held on to. It was Balogun's header. Schmeichel threw himself to his right, makes a relatively comfortable save. It stays 0-0, but Schmeichel's given it away straight to Raskin. Tried to spring Alistair Johnston there. He gives it straight to the Belgian Rangers midfielder, who plays it short infield there to one of his teammates. It's Bayrami, comes back out to Jefty on the left, and infield to Hadji left of the centre circle. Into Jefty.
Yeah, there was two situations there. That first ball to the back post, Balogun up against Carter Vickers. Just that almost lack a couple of inches from Carter Vickers. Couldn't really deal with it. Didn't get a lot of power, but enough power just to make Schmeichel react and make the save. And then, of course, I thought Raskin did brilliantly against Johnson there. He read the situation so well, and as Johnson was about to propel up the pitch.
Just one win in 13 derbies for Rangers coming into this one. 3-0 success after the league was won. Celtic were already champions by that point before the 3-0 defeat at Ibrox. The last meaningful Rangers win was here in the semis of the Scottish Cup, as Butland goes long, League of Ikeman, headed away by Carter Vickers and then nodded out for a Rangers throw-in over on the far side midway. inside the Celtic half.
There's no doubt, Pat, the one you were talking about when Celtic were on the full press and it's back at Butland and they decide to go up the pitch. Rangers are just clipping it, and I'll tell you, if Carter Vickers was on the retreat there, got a header, but it caused a bit of panic. We got man pressing.
Diamonde's giving it away this time, and Tate, long ball, looking for Maida. Balogun's got pace as well. He goes out for a Celtic throw-in. That's better than the alternative, which was Maida nicking it off him and running in behind on goal.
Yeah, listen, it's a real test for Carter Vickers, that ball over the top, because you know he has to get his positioning right. He's got to deal with the long ball, and then of course if it drops down there, whoever picks up the second phase is the key.
Poor ball by Kuhn. He was looking for the underlapping Johnston, and it goes behind for the goal kick. The decision making just not quite right for Celtic in the attacking third up to this point.
No, that's a couple of balls in behind that created problems for Rangers. I think both teams are trying that ball in behind.
I was just thinking that part that Liam said, Celtic. I think you could say both teams just that final bit, because they've got into some good situations.
Celtic have it with Carter Vickers. They're deep into a substantial period of stoppage time at Rugby Park for Kilmarnock. 10-man Kilmarnock still lead Hearts by a 1-0 in the only Premiership match taking place this afternoon. Bruce Anderson's penalty. And that's half-time now, 1-0 Killie. In the league, here in the League Cup, it is 0-0. We played 20, almost 21 minutes. Celtic still really trying to feel their way into this. Johnston's long ball down the right comes right through to Butland.
Yeah, it's really interesting down that left-hand side. Rangers' left-hand side, Celtic's right, where you've got Jeffrey up against Kuhn. He's almost going man for man with him. He's really tight. He's not coming into an area you would expect and then maybe getting out when the ball gets it. He's staying out on Kuhn. Now that can work both ways. You can deal with him, but if Kuhn's clever and he starts having a little bit of movement, he can get in behind and then down the side of Proper on that other side where he isn't the quickest, have to deal with that space.
That's when they will have trouble. It's not Jeffrey's quick, and that's why they're quite happy to leave him 1-on-1 with Kuhn. It's the problem is when he gets in behind him, as you say, Pat, and he gets himself onto Proper, because it's a no contest when it comes to the race.
Maida was the offender there as he catches Tavernier down below us. He must have had some amount of Daisen Maida themed nightmares over the course of the last year or so, James Tavernier. And he's so keen to do well against him today as Kuhn goes after it, but it comes right through to Proper over on the far side. He rolls it out to the left hand side, touchline for Jeffy. Good skill to shuffle away from Kuhn and back to the edge of his own box for Proper. Takes it onto his left side, rolls it with the right to the left hand touchline for Jeffy. Infield for Hadji, but he's had it nicked off him by Bernardo, but the referee didn't like the challenge. That's going to be a free kick. The Celtic supporters not happy with that decision, which goes Rangers' way, midway inside their own half. Ball was certainly there to be won by Paolo Bernardo.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it. Yeah, he went to go for the ball, but he's caught him. Hadji just kept the ball on his right side, and he's caught him on his left side. So a definite free kick. But a dangerous enough area when you play in there, you've got to be really sure what you're doing.
Really sure and really sharp, and tried for the diagonal or switch of the play, but yeah, it was a free kick when we saw it.
Long ball into the Rangers half, switched out to the right for Tavernier. He's lost it to Taylor though. Taylor turns it infield to Maida, who's actually behind him. He's ahead of him now though. It is Maida outside of the boot ball. Hatate, the little spin on Balogun, who drags him to the floor, and Celtic have a free kick. And Leon Balogun is being summoned by John Beaton.
Got a bit yellow, surely.
In the wake of that, the professional foul, it's going to be a Celtic free kick. 25 yards from goal or thereabouts. And I don't think there's a card coming.
That's got to be a yellow. He was done. He'd done him. He spun him and got into a brilliant position to have a strike. He's got to take his card out for that one. That is.
It's out now. Yeah.
You know what? I think that I don't know if he was going to give him a yellow. Then when Celtic took the quick free kick, then it kind of like, oh, they're in here, right? I'll have to do something about it and stop play, and I'll come back, and that'll allow me to give him the yellow. But as if he gave him the yellow just because they were in, and it might have.
I'm sure he got something in his
situation.
ear. Though. He had to have something in his ear there from yeah. Somebody's got to be.
Anyway, it was a definite yellow. No problem with that.
Free kick chance here though. Jack Buckland organising his wall packing. Good chance for Celtic this.
Yeah, it's a nice angle. It's far enough out to get it up and down. Try and make the goalkeeper make the save. That's the key. Jack Butland picking up the left-hand side of the wall, doing his job on the right-hand side.
Bernardo looks favourite, right-footed. It is Bernardo straight into the wall. Ping back out to this near side for Taylor. Taylor still has Bernardo as an option. Instead he turns away from Czerny and eventually rolls it back into the centre circle for Johnston. Gets himself away from Egaman, rolls it to Hatate over on that far side. Hatate looks and surveys it, what's ahead of him. It's a long ball looking for his countryman Kyogo, headed away by Cropper. Back into the box by Hatate, headed away by Balogun. That's a really poor challenge there by Diamonde on the right-hand side of the penalty area. The ref's allowing Celtic to play on. They're going to get a corner here by Rami, slides it out. To say, I thought there'd be another Celtic free kick forthcoming there. It was a really strange-looking challenge by Mohamed Diamonde. It's like he completely misjudged the flight of the ball, wiped out the Celtic player, Johnston.
Yeah, I just wonder whether he did. He's missed the ball and he smashed into him. But I just wonder whether the referee thought that Celtic were in a good position to go and attack down the right-hand side.
It was a good advantage, Pat, it was, but you get away with one, Diamonde, because it looked a clumsy one to leave one on the Celtic player.
Out-swinging corner from Bernardo from the right into the box, headed away by Jeffrey, but like the Rangers corner was a poor delivery by Bernardo. That was Celtic's first corner of the final, which remains goalless beyond the 25-minute mark in Hampden Park, and it's now with Hatate away from Czerny, rolls it out left for Taylor. Taylor then back to Trusty. Trusty looking into the midfield for Bernardo, finding and first time ball back into his own half for Carter Vickers. We'll roll it low out to Kuhn on that right-hand side. Kuhn then gets it forward in towards Kyogo, but Butland gathers the low ball. He just thought he'd found himself a little bit of space behind Robin Proper there again, Kyogo, but it's through to Butland and it stays nothing each.
There's also the run from Johnson. Again, he's starting very deep from almost halfway from the 18-yard line and makes a run, and you could see, I think that's the ball that Kuhn was trying to play rather than for Kyogo. But the goalkeeper read it really well.
It's just felt, Dodsey, just in the last little while that Celtic have got some control of this match.
Yeah, get plenty of possession now. That's the phases that Rangers just have to dig in, keep a good shape. But you saw again, Liam, Kyogo did Proper, get in behind him, and if it's not for Butland take up a good position, Rangers are in trouble.
Foul on Maida down on this near side. Not that the Rangers supporters agreed with that decision by John Beaton.
Just come back to the Balogun yellow card. Obviously it puts him under pressure now. That's the other thing. He's a centre half, he's up against Kyogo. Anything now that he does, he's got to do it really, really well. Make good decisions. He had a very good decision early on in the game, and he's got to continue in that mode.
He was sent off in this fixture last season, Parkhead. In the league games, it was Balogun. Celtic pick up with Carter Vickers at walking pace. Right-hand side of his own half, squares it to Trusty, who's got movement ahead of him, including Maida on this near side touchline. That's where he goes, and Maida will control it, put it back to Trusty, who will square it to Carter Vickers again. You know Celtic are enjoying themselves when the centre-backs get up to around the halfway line and indeed cross it, as Cameron Carter Vickers has done just now. Out to the right for Johnston, who moves it back to McGregor, who's quietly as usual going about his business as he looks to win this trophy for the 8th time. Hatate out to the right touchline for Johnston. Little chip ball looking for Bernardo. Proper's there, he clears with the left foot. Egaman, who can't get into this game at all, can't control that ball either, and it goes out for a Celtic throw-in on the far side.
You're right though, Liam, they've forced Rangers back for the last 5 minutes or so, and they can do that. They've just got to get together, make sure, as I said, you're in a good shape, and then try and get a counter-attack just to break that up. And so, look, we can still hurt you. If you want to do this, no problem, we'll dig in, get a nice shape, as I say, and try and get through that period, but we'll still be able to hurt you when we get you on the counter-attack.
Reminder, at half-time at Rugby Park, it is 10-man Kilmarnock 1, Hearts 0. Hearts trying desperately to clamber off the bottom of the table. That's not helping them. Bruce Anderson's penalty kick is the difference. Robbie Dees sent off. Kelly's 7th red card of the season. Highlights of that game, and indeed this final, this evening on Sports Scene on the BBC Scotland TV channel. It is Celtic on the ball right now. No deadlock broken here yet, approaching the half hour. Trusty's ball infield to Taylor, who goes back to Carter Vickers midway inside his own half. Out to the right for Johnston. then it's picked up by Bernardo's ball forward towards Coons, cut out, and now it's with Jeffrey for Rangers up to halfway. On the far side, Egeman infield to Hadji. Hadji then switches it out to Tavernier, who's bombing forward down this right-hand side. Couple in the middle, Bayrami leaves it, now breaks to Hadji, the edge of the box, trying to get the break of the ball, he doesn't manage it. Celtic have bodies in the way, McGregor tries to come away with it but loses it. Rangers have it, Egeman goes for the spectacular from 25 yards and it is blocked. Second ball breaks to Czerny, midway inside Celtic territory, out to the right for Tavernier, now with Hadji, low ball to Bayrami, out to the right Tavernier, looks and bends the ball in towards the back post, no takers in blue. And then over on the far side, Jeffrey trying to keep the ball going, but it goes out for a throw-in to Celtic. 30 minutes, bang on that mark now. Celtic 0, Rangers 0 in the final.
So what I'm talking about, Pat and Liam, where I've had that dig-in moment for, well, 5 minutes or so, and suddenly Cammy still hurt you, and Hadji does a brilliant switchy play. Eventually Rangers work it to this right-hand side and the cross is gone, but it just shows you that, yeah, we're quite happy to accept you're going to have possession. We're quite happy to just sit solid for 5 minutes, but I'll tell you what, we'll still get at you, and that's exactly what Rangers did.
Yeah, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to keep your distances right, you've got to keep your shape right, you've got to try to, and they're doing it quite well through the middle of the pitch, and they're not allowing Celtic to maybe cut them up in that position. And if you do get a little bad pass or something like that, you nick it, and then you have got players in good positions to go and counter-attack.
It is Trusty for Celtic, rolls it out to the left touchline for Maida. And back to Austin Trusty. Crosses the halfway line, Maida's made his run, Trusty has it still, but he's lost out to Bayrami, waited too long. Now it's Tavernier with a long ball, Egeman's offside. Willie Miller won this tournament, was it 3 times, Willie? 4 other finals on top of that as well. You know what it takes to win the League Cup. What are you making of this match?
Well, you do need a bit of patience, Liam, that's for sure. I thought Rangers started extremely well, a lot of energy taking the game to Celtic, but Celtic have then taken control of it, and it's now Rangers are really on the back foot and struggling to get any possession and really struggling to control the game. So if it continues like this, then Celtic are going to create opportunities. They've already created 2 good ones down their right-hand side, Rangers left-hand side, proper at centre half, a couple of occasions really being found wanting. So I think it's Rangers slightly on top, marginally on top, but not a great deal in it.
Yeah, nothing in it on the scoreline. Indeed, Willie got his hands on the League Cup before the Alec Ferguson days at Pittodrie. And Celtic pick up here with Trusty, who plays it short to his right for Carter Vickers. Back to Trusty, with Greg Taylor to his left. Their time over this. The conditions aren't great. It is blustery today in Glasgow. The rain continues to tumble down from above. Dusk has fallen in Glasgow as Taylor picks up on the near side, infield to Hitate, but can't find him, and now Bayrami turns his man, he's away from McGregor and he's burning across the halfway line. Still goes Nadine Bayrami, attacking the Celtic box, goes for the shot and drags it well wide in the end, a yard or 2 past the left-hand post. Had it been on target, Schmeichel would have made a simple save, I would have thought. It stays Celtic 0, Rangers 0, almost in 33. The options left and right there, did the Albanian.
Yeah, he had, and he just didn't connect properly, I don't think. But yeah, again, Rangers playing on the counter-attack. They're doing well, actually. See, when the centre half, especially on the left-hand side, or Greg Taylor gets the ball, they're almost cutting off the ball inside and back towards Carter Vickers, and they're forcing them down the outside a little bit, and then just squeezing the game and winning the ball back on that basis.
Well, I mean, you're playing well against Celtic when it looks like Callum McGregor's having a tough shift. He's not been allowed to dictate it.
Bayrami's done pretty well on him, and he tried to get the part there, McGregor, and Bayrami stole it and had the shot.
Here's Czerny driving, dancing down the right, he's into the box. Egeman is in the area as well. Czerny, well, he waited too long again, and Maida snaps into the challenge, and Maida has it over on this near side, deep inside his own half though. Slips it to McGregor, who'll turn it back to Trusty. Carter Vickers didn't want that, Hadji's onto him, but he's recovered well. Well, Austin Trusty breathing an almighty sigh of relief there, because Carter Vickers was not expecting the ball, or at least he wasn't expecting it when he put it. Here they come up the other end, Celtic. Kuhn, right hand side of the Rangers box, chops away from the defender, and his efforts blocked by Jeffrey. Bayrami sliding in over on the far side. one end to the other there all of a sudden. Rangers get it away. Diamonde, McGregor with a challenge, but it breaks to Balogun at the edge of the Rangers box. Looking for Hadji, given away again. Both teams have been so guilty of giving the ball away, and it's going to be a Celtic free kick for a foul in the midfield. Balogun's on the deck, seems to be in trouble.
It's like Skittles the way they're going down, isn't it? First McGregor got clattered, then over this side was Balogun down, Diamande was down. It's pivotal because it's moments where if you get that initial first touch, you're beyond the midfield and you're into an attacking front, but it's just an overstretch and they're rattled a little bit. We're looking at that pass from Austin Trusty, was taking a gamble, but that's been the story of the game so far, Liam, isn't it, where the final bit's not been right, or the passing hasn't been quite crisp enough? Is that what's been missing from this final?
Yeah, and it's the fine margins, isn't it? Fine margins. You say, do you get that control right and just nick it past somebody and you're away, or do you take a bad touch, a slightly bad touch, of people on top of you, and that was a real. I was just looking at the Kuhn effort down the right-hand side. He gets into a great position again, but it was the two in the middle of the pitch, or in the middle of the box. Both made the same run across the 6-yard line. See, one of them, I think it was Maeda, if he had a check back out, I think he could have picked them out and he could have finished. He had no option, Kuhn, really.
Second half at Rugby Park will be getting underway pretty soon. Kelly leading Hearts 1-0. Leon Balogun is off the pitch, having got a bit of treatment. He's going to be making his way back on any time now, though. He's on a yellow card as well, Balogun. The League Cup final, goalless, final 10 minutes, in fact the final 9 minutes of the first half now. It's only finished goalless 4 times, the League Cup final. 47-48, 56-57, 79-80 and 13-14. So stalemates, goalless ones are not the norm come full time as we get closer to half time here. Hadji's little ball looking for Diamande, goes over the head of Hatate. Diamande gets on to it ahead of Maeda, and back to Tavernier. Infield to Nicholas Raskin, who knocks it back out to Diamande on this near side. Taken off him momentarily by Taylor, and then Tavernier lets it go out for a throw-in on this near side. Does it come into it the fact that Celtic played 2 nights earlier than Rangers did in the week? Rangers Spurs, and it was an energy-sapping game in the Europa League. Celtic did have the travel goalless draw against Dinamo Zagreb. Will that come into it later on?
Later on, I think it might, and that's where you have to go to your bench. That's where you've got to keep it fresh. You've got to make good decisions from the manager, and whoever else, the staff around them, will be looking at that and saying, well, is there anybody out there now just starting to get very leggy and needs to maybe come off, just to keep the energy level of the team up more so than the players.
0-0 at Hampden. It's Tavernier on the near side. 3 Celtic players around him there, and they've got it back here to the challengers against the holders. Rangers, of course, won this tournament 12 months ago. There was a late Tavernier goal that won it in the final 13-14 minutes against Aberdeen. Celtic, up to this point, have had just shy of 63% of the ball, as Greg Taylor dinks it over the head of Tavernier. Maeda giving chase. Tavernier bites back at him. He's done well this time. James Tavernier is trying to see it behind for the goal kick. I'm not sure if Balogun was as convinced it was going for a goal kick, and he clears it, but it's not a great ball. Straight onto the chest of Taylor, who finds McGregor. Back to Taylor. Back onto the halfway line for Carter Vickers, who finds Johnston, who goes all the way back to Kasper Schmeichel. 38 on the clock. Celtic 0, Rangers 0.
Rangers just, it's Czerny out the front 4 that's just switching off at times, letting Taylor go. Everybody else been quite disciplined, especially out of possession. Willie mentioned this spell where Celtic have taken control. You have to stay focused, you cannot switch off, and it's just a couple of times out the 4 and it's Czerny just looks at the ball well. Taylor strays in behind him.
It's not been too many touches in the penalty area either. Celtic have had 7, Rangers 5, so it's a little bit tentative out there, a little bit nervy. You can understand that with the stakes so high.
Rangers are springing really well from midfield. They're leaving passes on, but they're able to read the situation well, and they'll spring out. Now the space is behind Diamande, and I'm just wondering whether Celtic, they haven't been able to exploit it really yet, and Hatate will go in there, then Diamande step up, and there is spaces, but they're not allowing that ball to be played that penetrating pass to be played yet, Rangers.
Well, Celtic know if they win this, they would go above Rangers in the trophy count for the first time since 1938. Rangers have had more silverware amassed since then. And Schmeichel picks up at the edge of his box and rolls it to Carter Vickers, who turns it out onto the touchline on the north stand side for Johnston, looking for Kuhn, cut out by Jeffday. Jeffday wins the throw-in off Kuhn on the far side, at level with his own penalty spot.
Rangers are trying to get a press on, and Tavernier's trying to get a little bite on this left-hand side of Rangers' right-hand side, and he's looked back, and the other three Rangers backline players are 15 yards deeper than him. He's not happy, he wants him higher, and he can't go, and he's having a little bite at Proper especially. He doesn't want to get too high because he could get done with that Kyogo run.
Well, both teams in really good form. Celtic in excellent form right now, but it's given away, and Rangers have it with Bayrami charging forward, rolls it to the right, Egeman at the edge of the box and gets his shot away, breaks to Bayrami on the rebound, and he slots it home, and Rangers lead the final. Nedim Bayrami on the rebound from Schmeichel, and he's rolled it into the bottom right corner to send the Rangers supporters wild at the National Stadium. It is Celtic 0, Rangers 1, and Rangers lead the League Cup final.
Would he be in an offside position for the first shot? I'm just wondering, would that count in the second phase? I'm not 100% sure. But listen, it was Greg Taylor giving the ball. That square pass, we did say, you know, Rangers have been really cute at the way that they've actually dealt with that.
Happy with it.
Waiting for that pass across, you know, putting the ball at risk across your midfield cannot happen. Shouldn't happen.
The goal stands, he's onside by Rami. Taylor, the fall guy here. Egeman's effort was saved by Schmeichel, and it popped up for Bayrami, and it's the stuff you dream of, I suppose, as a footballer, to have an opportunity as easy as that in a cup final to give your team the lead. And it is Celtic 0, Rangers 1. Billy Dodds.
The old eyes light up as a striker when that kind of chance falls to you. But Pat's right, Taylor gives it away, Bayrami's onto it in a flash, and then he's wanting to go, but he realises Carter Vickers is on the cover and he's motoring, so he just decides to pass it to Egeman, who hits a strike. Schmeichel can only palm it, and then, as you said, Liam, it's just sitting there. The things you dream of in a cup final: 6 yards out, goalie out to play, just roll it into the empty net, and Bayrami does exactly that.
Throwing Celtic over on the far side. Johnston, as they try and react, they've only been behind domestically once this season before today. Well, once in this competition to Falkirk, who led them twice on the day, in fact, 1-0 and 2-1 in the first half. The only other time it's happened in the league was against Ross County, when Ronan Hale's penalty had them behind. Celtic turned that one round, as they did against the Bairns earlier in this tournament, as Bernardo fires it across, and it's cleared by Proper out into the north stand on the far side. Celtic have a throw-in, and Brendan Rodgers has got something to ponder here. Like Callum McGregor, he's got a perfect final record at Celtic.
Yeah, listen, the timing of it also right before half-time, you know, Rangers can stick it out for the next couple of minutes to go in a great position.
Celtic looking to react before the interval, which is 2 minutes plus stoppage time away. There was the injury to Balogun, which will be bolted on at the end. Celtic throw, level with the edge of the centre circle over on the far side. Down the line for Kuhn, back to Bernardo, who was fouled. Celtic free kick. No, the Rangers player's down over there, mate. Just wondering who it was who went down there. Jeffrey was out on the far side. It's Raskin who's taken a blow to the mouth there by the looks of things. It will be a Celtic free kick. And it was on a knife edge, this game, Billy, wasn't it? It's nothing each. And all of a sudden, Celtic have a question to answer.
It was. Celtic were controlling possession-wise, but passing was letting them down. And Rangers at times, I think Jeffrey picked up a yellow there, Liam, but Rangers at times as well, just that pass and that, the passing was just, it wasn't quite crisp enough, or there was no quality in it, and that's what was just making the game devoid of chances and situations, but Rangers sprung on one, didn't they? As soon as Taylor was slack with the pass, they were on it, they had the shot. It's the first real save that our goalkeepers had to bring out, and Schmeichel could only palm it for Bayrami to put it in, and this is a big test for Celtic now in terms of character and how they come back.
It's not quite an exact replica, but it's very similar to the goal that Celtic scored to win the Scottish Cup in May, as Bernardo takes the free kick, bounces back towards Kyogo and lashed away by the goal scorer Bayrami. Czerny's going to chase this. Johnston's there, he's favourite, and he gets there first and nods it out to Hatate. Big test to Celtic, this, Packy. They've not had too many of them domestically this season. This is certainly one of them.
Yeah, and listen, you know, Rangers look as if their energy is high, which I was maybe worried about for them. You know, and
3 added were into the first of them, Packy.
Yeah, consider maybe that, you know, they had that big game midweek on Thursday, and that might have depleted their energy levels, but they look as if they're really upward in this game, and that's stopping Celtic from maybe dictating the game as we've probably seen them do so many times.
I think this game helped them with that. Yeah, a lot of people talked about the tiredness. Yeah, I get it 2 days ago, but a final in the Old Firm, that helps you through it and makes you mentally ready for the test.
It's out of play for a Celtic throw-in over on that far side. It will be taken by Johnston. An advantage, Clement down in the touchline. Brendan Rodgers with his arms folded. Hasn't been in this position terribly often, certainly not here at Hampden. He's ruled the roost here. And it is Trusty who finds Taylor. Goes back to Trusty. We're into the second of 3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Trusty has it. Taylor on this near side, forward to Hatate and back to Trusty. The team that scores first in this fixture has only lost it 4 times out of the last 49. And Rangers have put themselves in that position this afternoon. Schmeichel for Taylor, heads it up the line, straight to Tavernier though, but his ball forward comes through to Schmeichel, and the Rangers manager just hoping that his team will be able to get to the break without Celtic equalising. How often have we seen Celtic teams in the past scoring right on half-time or full-time? Carter Vickers under all kinds of pressure from Raskin on the far side. He's done brilliantly though to find Johnston on the touchline. Back to Carter Vickers, just inside the Rangers half, spinning away from Hadji. Foul by Hadji, free kick Celtic. We're into the third and final minute of first half stoppage time. Celtic 0, Rangers 1. Nedim Bayrami with his biggest moment in a Rangers shirt so far. Remember, he scored the quickest goal in European Championship history for Albania against Italy in the summer. Scored that early goal against Malmo as well, but that is of a different level, and Kyogo's giving it away. Balogun's trying to stride forward. Surely the pass to Egeman had to come. Still it's Balogun, he's right-hand side of the Celtic box. Down at the byline, swings the ball back towards the penalty spot, and Johnston clears. Breaks to Proper though, right up on top of the Celtic box, Robin Proper. Celtic get it clear, only as far as Raskins. Bayrami at the edge of the box. Little ball to Czerny, is he onside? Right-hand side of the 6-yard box, his efforts blocked, and Celtic clear through Trusty. There was no flag. It's out for a throw-in on this near side.
Yeah, Celtic again putting the ball at risk, playing the ball into Kyogo. He's in Celtic's half and ends up losing the ball, not being able to tidy it up.
Half-time at Hampden. Philippe Clement gesturing to the Rangers supporters to give them more noise there. Brendan Rodgers trudges up the Hampden tunnel. His unbeaten domestically side is losing this final at the interval. Nedim Bayrami is the clock ticked towards the half-time interval. On the rebound from Egeman's shot, Schmeichel made the save. Bayrami was there to tuck it home. There haven't been, as there weren't in the Scottish Cup final, too many chances in the game. There have been a couple of saves at either end before that, but Bayrami is the first half headline maker here on Glasgow's south side as Rangers look to try and retain the trophy this afternoon against their bitter rivals. Half time is Celtic 0, Rangers 1.
the Scottish League Cup Final.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
Where Scottish football lives.
Half-time at the National Stadium here on the south side of Glasgow. It is a fully darkened sky, but not for the Rangers fans who are off to our left and horseshoeing around half of this stadium. They are celebrating at the interval thanks to Nedim Bayrami's 4th goal of the season. It is that which separates the sides. Further reflections to come from here from Willie Miller and from Tom English. We'll hear also, I'm sure, from Billy Dodds and Pat Bonner. Let's quickly head across to Rugby Park, where they're into the second half there, of course, between Kilmarnock and Hearts. Update from Brian McLaughlin.
Yes, Richard, approaching the hour mark here, and it's still Kilmarnock 1, Hearts 0. Football's a very strange game, as we know. Hearts started the game really brightly, indeed hit the post in the first minute. Craig Halkett with a volley, but then a telling moment after just 6 minutes. Robbie Dees shown a red card. Initially it was a yellow from the referee Don Robertson, but VAR intervened for a red card on Kenneth Vargas. But since then it's been all Kilmarnock. They took the lead after 18 minutes. A challenge by James Penrice on Joe Wright just on the edge of the 18-yard box. A penalty was awarded immediately, the correct decision, and there was Bruce Anderson to knock home the opening goal, his 5th goal of the campaign. So far it's been all Kilmarnock, despite the fact they've been down to 10 men. They've had numerous chances. Marley Watkins in particular has had 2 1-on-1s with Craig Gordon, the Hearts goalkeeper, coming out on top since then. Hearts have made 4 changes since the break. Brer Spittle, Alan Forrest, Malaki Boateng has gone off, as has Kenneth Vargas, George Grant, Jan Danda, James Wilson and Liam Boyce have all come on. Kilmarnock have also made a couple of changes. Robbie McCrory, the goalkeeper, has been struggling with injury. He came off at half-time. Kieran O'Hara has replaced him in goal, and the goal scorer Bruce Anderson has also gone off, and he's been replaced by Liam Donnelly. Kilmarnock have been so disciplined. Fantastic performance. Been down to 10 men since the 6th minute of the game, but they're well in control of this, and they lead Hearts by 1-0.
As things stand then, Hearts would be finishing the weekend bottom of the Premiership table, which is where they are right now. Killie would move up above St Johnstone, Ross County and Hibernian if they can see that one through. Could be a massive afternoon for both sides, for both managers. It is still Kilmarnock 1, Hearts 0, and of course here at Hampden Park it is Celtic 0, Rangers 1. Willie Miller, opening 45 minutes, Rangers deserving of the advantage.
Well, the last 5-10 minutes, Richard, they finished the first half right on top and with a lot of energy and a lot of belief. You know, the goal has made all the difference, there's no doubt about that. I thought they started well and they finished well in that first 45 minutes, and in between I thought Celtic had a grip of the game. I thought they had control of the game. Didn't take too many opportunities, Celtic. Kuhn was the one through down proper side, and Butler made a good save. And then Hattati should have done better from in my opinion. You know, when it comes to him, he drills it low, and it's quite an easy take for Butland. It's a good save you would put to the goalkeeper, but see if he puts it with a little bit of air in it, you know, and drives it towards the goal with a bit of height, then I think Celtic take the lead, but they didn't take that opportunity. You know, Kyogo on the shoulder again of Proper with a volley and quite an easy save. But at the other end, I think Rangers have looked dangerous at times. I think Clement has got his tactics right. Bayrami seems to be given the job of staying close to McGregor. He's not man marking him, but he's staying close to McGregor, so you know, he's making it difficult for the Celtic captain. But then he springs off him whenever Rangers get the opportunity, and he's done that, you know, on a few occasions. You know, they had the Balogun header, it was quite easily saved. The goal itself, Bayrami had the running shot before that. It was a poor shot, went past the goal quite tamely. But the goal itself, obviously Greg Taylor looking at himself and saying, what am I thinking? You know, playing that square pass and giving Rangers the opportunity. I'm thinking to myself, Packy, can Schmeichel do better?
I thought it was a decent shot. He's got a decent hand. Maybe flick it round
yeah,
rather than bang it out into that space. He just open up your hand a little bit. He's got a good hand to it. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You know, when the shot's a decent shot, I don't think he's moved his feet quick enough. He's went with a stretch. He's got his hands on it. Decent save, but for me, if he just does what you said, open his hands up, try to get it even pushed out the way rather than back into the field of play. You know, and Bayrami following up has an easy job of putting it in. And then, you know, a word for the centre half club when Balogun picks it up just before half time and just lifts the whole Rangers fancy. Lifts, I think the players themselves as well with that positive run. You know, and it ends up with a shot and goal just before half time, and you know, Rangers seem to get a huge lift. You know, with that goal, 41, 42 minutes, something like that, just before half time. And they finished the game. They finished the first half on a high, and you know, Celtic have got to come up with the answers. I'm not saying that they won't come up with the answers, but they've got to be much better. I don't think that Maeda, you've had enough out of Maeda at all. I think Hatate's been anonymous as well. You know, so you know, there's key players there. The best play, the most productive play from Celtic has been down there right-hand side. There's no doubt about that. Actually, a word about Tavernier, because he gets a lot of criticism. He's actually played Maeda very well today, hasn't he? He's been very good, Richard. You know, he stubbed him out, and you know, when he's got forward too, he's put a number, maybe 3 good curling crosses towards the back post as well. So he's not been as venturous as you normally see him. He's starting positions much deeper, but he's taken care of a major threat for Celtic. You've got to hand it to him defensively. He's been pretty good, you know, but he has had opportunities going forward, and when he gets the opportunity, he's been pretty productive with the cross balls into the box as well. So it's not been a spectacular game of football. You know, at times it's been scrappy. I think Rangers' tactics have been good. They've made it difficult for Celtic, and Celtic haven't been creative enough. They haven't controlled it enough. They did have that period, you know, in between the start and the finish, where you're thinking that they're going to just control the game. But Rangers haven't allowed that to develop further, and actually finished the first half pretty strongly. I mean, I suppose, Tom, you ally not just the Rangers pressing and the energy that they're showing to the fact that Celtic have actually been quite careless, quite sloppy. In fact, not just at the back either, across the pitch at times.
They have, but there's probably a reason for that, and that the Rangers have been very aggressive, and they've shut down the space. You know, McGregor likes to play through the middle. He's got no space in there, and it's a kind of a symbolic moment in the first half when McGregor was kind of robbed of possession by Bayrami, and Bayrami runs off, and that's a kind of the game in kind of microcosm to an extent. Celtic are not being allowed to dictate it. It has been turned into a scrap, which is exactly what Rangers would want. As the boys are saying, the go-to guys for Celtic, they're not existing out there, and it's and now Rangers have the lead. Mercy be, they finally opened the scoring in an Old Firm game. They finally lead Celtic, and they're asking the questions that they've been unable to ask Celtic for 2 or 3 years, really. And they've shown a fair bit of self-confidence as well, self-belief out there, haven't they? They have, yeah, absolutely. Their work rate is huge. The work rate is absolutely through the roof. And they've carried on. I was wondering whether they could bring that same intensity from Thursday night to here, and they have done. And the goal typifies it. You know, Taylor gets a bit spooked. He tries to find Cameron Carter-Vickers. He doesn't get nearly enough weight on the pass to begin with. And of course it's cut out by Bayrami, and then Carter-Vickers and Taylor trying to scramble to regain their ground, go straight for Igaman, and they forget that Bayrami is on the scene too, and it's a tap in. So Celtic have been rocked out of their kind of system, out of their tempo, and this is a real fight now for them. Big question for Brendan Rodgers at half-time is, how does he turn things round then, Pat?
Yeah, I think this is as big a half-time as he's had probably since the season started, to be perfectly honest. I know maybe the European games you're on a different kind of all this discussion, but today they're a goal behind, and the rhythm isn't quite there, and that's down to Rangers. It's really interesting for me when the ball comes onto sort of almost Celtic's left-hand side. Egeman is stopping the ball at times to go back across to Carter Vickers, so they're forcing it to come down the left-hand side. Then they're blocking off that channel with Diamonde, Czerny, and then Tavernier doesn't have to step out of position. All he's got to do is deal with the Maeda, and they're almost forcing Celtic not to come back across the pitch and open the game up, and that is working really well for them at times. Not all the time, but most of the time. On the other side, it's slightly different because they're up against, I think, probably a player, Kuhn, they can go by in a 1v1, and because they have a proper on that side who isn't the quickest, and that's where Celtic exploited a little bit down that side. So it'll be really interesting to see what Brendan Rodgers does at half-time. Does he change players around very quickly now into the second half? Because if it's not working, will he talk to them about maybe their position? He goes on, he always comes up with something, I suppose, but I'm sure he's observed the game, and the staff's observed the game, and they say, well, how and what are we going to do to change this into our type of game that we normally play? And that's, Rangers have done it really well. They've, I think, around the pitch, aggressive, energy. They've stopped them doing things that they want to do from a passing point of view, and that's kind of spooked Celtic a little bit.
Yeah, for Rangers, I guess, what Philippe Clement desperately needs, Billy, is his players to come out and immediately find the same intensity that they showed throughout the first 45 minutes. Sometimes you see a little bit of a drop-off, don't you?
Yeah, but I don't think you can do that in a cup final, Richard. I don't think you can have that mentality. I think this is a good game. A lot of people have been asked the question, yeah, they put a lot into Thursday night against Tottenham. Yeah, they did. But if you want the perfect game, you forget that individually and collectively. It's a cup final against your biggest rivals. So, yeah, leave it to the manager to try and pick out the tired players, but in your mind that you've got to go out there, this is a cup final. I don't think you can even look at that today. A tiredness will set in. I really don't. I think this is a perfect game. A lot of contributing factors for Rangers. They've played in the right areas, high, which a lot of teams don't do against Celtic. They just let the back four have it, and Celtic dominate possession and get the better of you and eventually score. But Rangers have been a threat, and we said that. That's collectively. And, you know, they've had to go back, as Willie touched on, and just soak up and say, we're having this 15 minutes against us. They're getting the better of us. They're a good team, Celtic. They're going to push us back. So we'll do that as well. But then we'll show that we can still be a threat, and they get the goal. Individually, Tom's touched on it. I think those duels all over the pitch. Richard, you mentioned that James Tavernier with Maeda getting the better of him. Kuhn, Jeffrey really playing him well. I was worried about Bayrami. Has he got that discipline? He's played McGregor really well, because McGregor's trying to move him. He's passed it and then just darted. And that was the one time that Tom was saying Diamonde cut it out because the pass was overhit, but he got wrong-sided by Rami. So he's done his job. I think Hadji's kept Johnson occupied, whether it's, listen, you go forward, I'll get at you. So all over the pitch, I think Rangers have not won the duels, but they've handled them really well when they've got the lead. It's what they have to do to hang on to it. But I think at the start of the second half, as you were alluding to, they can't come out with the mindset as we'll just tail off for 5, then we'll go again. Right back at it is a message.
Yeah, Richard, I can't remember Celtic can almost playing those little penetrating passes into Hatate or Bernardo in areas where there's times there's space and they can get open up and they can get at your back two centre half. They've never been able to do it, and that's down to the way I think they're organised, Rangers. They're forcing the ball wide and then they shift across, but Celtic haven't been able to exploit in those little areas. It'll be interesting to see if they can come up with something to do that in the second half.
Well, the two openings they've had have both been from balls chipped over the top, and the first was an excellent ball that Kuhn may well have done better with. I suppose Kyogo had the other opportunity. Celtic are going to have to find a way, or Rangers will be celebrating in about less than an hour's time, depending on how much stoppage time there is at the end of the second half. It is Rangers who lead by 1-0. I think what we can be guaranteed, Willie Miller, is it's going to be a cracking second 45, because Celtic have to come out and go for it, don't they? You know that, and Rangers clearly have the players capable of picking them off.
Well, yeah, I think they need better performances from their key players, Celtic. I think that's what they need. In particular, Maeda, Hatate. I mean, Kyogo's had very, very little service, very, very little opportunities. I think Kuhn has been probably their best attacking player, but let's hand it to Rangers as well. I think Philippe Clement, his tactics have been pretty good, the way he's played his front four. Bayrami, I think, has been a really key player for him. Just, making sure that he's making it difficult for McGregor, but not man-marking him, and then trying to just spring off him as well. And he's done that extremely well. So I think Rangers, the way they played, their discipline in defending, the fact that they go back and they look like a team that knows what they're doing, but they're always a threat going forward. Their two sitting midfield players will go forward as well, but the four in front of them is a real threat. I think Bayrami, for me, has been the better player, the best player in the midfield. I think he's been the most dangerous and the biggest threat for Celtic to deal with.
The Rangers players, most of them back out on the pitch, followed now by the Celtic players for this second 45. Mistake by Greg Taylor, the finish by Najim Bayrami, and Rangers have the advantage as we settle back for the second 45 minutes. Brendan Rodgers just making his way out. There is going to be a change at half-time, and it is Austin Trusty who goes off for Celtic to be replaced by Liam Scales. Perhaps a nod to the uncertainty there was at times in that Celtic back line. Players back out, Pat and Doddsy back ready to describe all the action alongside Liam McLeod.
That'll be Celtic to kick off the second half. There's smoke coming from the Rangers end off to our left as the game gets back underway here. Celtic behind. Big favourites coming into this, but it is the holders who have the advantage thanks to that Bayrami goal. And just to confirm, Austin Trusty off, Liam Scales on for the start of the second half. As Celtic go left to right in the green and white hoops towards the east end of the stadium, the Tory Glen end of Hampden. Rangers towards Mount Florida in the blue shirts, white shorts, black socks with the red tops. The rain has gone off. Still a bit blowy out there as Hatate rolls it all the way back to Schmeichel. Celtic won't be pushing any sort of panic buttons right now. They've been so good this season. We know their record coming into this is exceptional. Domestically, even in Europe as well, as Maida chases one but can't keep it in play, and it goes behind for a Rangers goal kick. They've only actually across the board, including Champions League, lost once in their last 36 games since losing to Hearts at Tynecastle at the start of March. That was in Dortmund, but they dusted themselves down in Europe's premier competition and are well placed to go through. Rangers, of course, through to the knockouts where we don't know in the Europa League as Butland clears. It is Schmeichel in goal for Celtic, Johnston, Carter Vickers, Scales and Taylor, Bernardo, McGregor, Hatate, Kuhn, Maida, Kyogo. For Rangers, Butland in goal, Tavernier, Balogun, Cropper, Jeffrey, Diamonde, Raskin, Cherney, Bayrami, the goal scorer, and Hadji, and Igaman as the ball breaks back to Kasper Schmeichel, who plays it short to his left for Scales, out onto the touchline for Taylor. Then back to Scales, steps in field and finds Schmeichel, rolls it to his right for Carter Vickers. Forward it comes towards Bernardo. He wasn't on the same page as Carter Vickers, given away, but it breaks back to the Celtic centre-back, and now it's with Johnston. Packy, talk us through that change. Trusty off, Scales on.
It must be an injury. I don't see it as a game changer for Celtic, putting on changing the left centre-back for sure. I think it must be an injury to Trusty. That's all I can imagine.
Celtic with Kuhn, little ball infield to Johnston, midway inside the Rangers half. He gets it through right hand side of the box for Hatate. Little back heel looking for Bernardo. Hadji reacts brilliantly there, and Butland will hold on just to the left of his 6-yard box. Celtic 0, Rangers 1. The infancy of the second half here.
As you have said, that Celtic start to ask the questions even this early, but the discipline stays with Rangers. Hadji matching runners all the way, seeing it back to his goalkeeper. It has to be done.
Well, that Bayrami goal, just the 8th goal domestically Celtic have conceded this season. Schmeichel rolls it out to Johnston on this near side. Back to Schmeichel. Forward to McGregor. McGregor scampering forward on this right-hand side. He'll win the throw-in right in front of the Rangers manager. He's at the edge of his technical area, as is his opposite number. Rangers have it though, Celtic. Cheap possession given away. It's Igaman with a little floated ball with the outside of the boot, but it goes right through to Schmeichel harmlessly. and he holds on.
Giving the ball away again, Celtic, and that's been a feature of the game today in certain areas where you know you're going to get closed down because Rangers are keeping it really tight, and then they're just springing very, very quickly, reading the situation. You can't afford to give another goal away by giving the ball away, that's for sure.
Another slip by Alistair Johnston there. There was a few occasions in the first half that was happening. Slick surface, Scales out to the left, Taylor, he's in the Rangers half, rolls it forward towards Hatate. Hatate gets there ahead of Balogun. It's a foul by Balogun, says the referee John Beaton. Philip Clement with his arms outstretched, he disagrees with the decision, and just a reminder, Leon Balogun's on a yellow card. He needs to be careful, he might not be afforded too many more of those.
First thoughts, I thought Hatate got the pass wrong, maybe I'm wrong, yeah, and not much in it. I think Hatate tries to flick it around the corner but gets it on the wrong side of his boots and puts it behind the on-rushing Celtic player, but Balogun doesn't do much, just clatters in behind him. Definitely a free kick, but not a booking.
That defeat at Tynecastle the last time Celtic failed to score in a game. Bernardo winds up the free kick into the box, it comes off a Rangers head and behind for the corner. In fact, goal kick's a Celtic head that got onto that in the 6-yard line.
I thought Scales got a bit of it.
He must have done, yeah. And it's going to be a goal kick rather than a Celtic corner. It's Celtic 0, Rangers 1.
Yeah, I'm just watching the replay here. It's a good ball in by Scales, yeah. He got a really good header on it, and it just goes a foot by the post.
Balogun was the Rangers player. I thought it had come off. It was Scales. Rangers have a throw in midway inside their own half on this main stand side with Jeffrey. Bowls it forward, flicked on by Rami. Straight to Carter Vickers though, who finds McGregor. And he rolls it back to Scales. And then to his goalkeeper. Schmeichel's dinked ball out to Johnston. His ball infield's poor again. Straight to Hadji, who's onto it. Rolls it to the edge of the box for Egeman, looking for the big of the ball. Scales digs it out. And out for a throw into Rangers on this near side, level with the Celtic 18-yard line.
Yeah, again, another little ball inside from Johnston. That's twice now Johnston's given the ball away. And they're onto it like a flash, Rangers. You know, that time I think it was Hadji that was onto it. And not alone is he onto it, he's almost in attacking Celtic's penalty box.
Poor ball by Tavernier this time, straight to McGregor. He finds Bernardo in the circle. Looks up and fires it out to this right-hand side for Kuhn. Taking on Jeffrey, right-hand side of the Rangers box, chops onto his left side. The right angle, rolls it back low to McGregor. McGregor scored in the derby in September, and it's given away, and Rangers have won it back through Czerny. It was Greg Taylor again. Here's Czerny coming forward, he's found Egeman. Support right, left, huge chance for Rangers this. To the right it goes, pulled back and blocked by Carter Vickers and behind for the corner. What an opportunity it was, and Bayrami's taking the wrong option there.
Yeah, Celtic are rocked. I mean, it's Taylor again caught in possession. You just got to make a pass there. Czerny robs him, and then they get a 4v2 situation, which soon becomes a 4v1. And you're right, Liam, if the right pass is picked, it's Rangers 2 up, but Bayrami squanders an unbelievably good opportunity.
Yeah, you know, it was good defending, I've got to say, at the end up from Cardiff, because he had two players to pick out right on the 6-yard box, but he's got to hit it across the goalkeeper, make the goalkeeper do what he did in the first instance when it went from the goal, palm it out into the players because the pass was cut off. But again, Greg Taylor giving the ball away in the middle of the pitch. How many times has that been?
Well, Rangers have a man down on the goal line, and the ref's going to have to delay this corner. They're into the final 8 or 9 minutes at Rugby Park. Kilmarnock, against all odds, continue to lead Hearts 1-0. That Anderson penalty after Robbie Dees was ordered off in the opening 6 minutes of the game. Anderson converted a penalty, and Killie are just about there. What a result that would be at the bottom end of the table.
Massive. The one thing that Bayrami didn't do was play it with pace. We're watching that instant with Schmeichel, and I think it was Diamandi, but he had to fire it.
In comes the corner on top of Schmeichel, who gets something onto it, and then it's lashed over the bar. And that was an opportunity for Rangers directly from the corner. Egeman doesn't really catch it very well, and it goes over the bar, and it's a Celtic goal kick, and it stays 1-0 Rangers, almost on 53 minutes.
I'm just looking at that, sorry Liam, I'm just looking at that Hadji, Bayrami, positional wise. They've been switched, and Bayrami's now at the left. He stayed there for 5 minutes. Maybe it's just until they can fix it or get back to their normal position. But any of the two of them just quite happy to play left of the 10.
Just wonder how long Brendan Rodgers will wait before he looks to his bench. Okay, he's got Scales on at the break, but in an attacking sense, Palma, Ida, Baye, Yang, Engels, Forrest and Ralston are the outfield players in reserve for Rodgers this afternoon. Scales replaced Trusty at the start of the second half. Here's Carter Vickers rolling it low to Bernardo, out to this near side for Nicholas Kuhn. He's got away from Jeff Day. He's had little change out of him so far, but here he goes, driving right hand side of the box. He's got to the byline and it bounces back off Butland and behind for a Celtic corner. Really good positive play by Kuhn. The first time he's really been able to do that since that opportunity he had in the first half, and they've taken the quick short corner. Bernardo to Kuhn, the right angle of the box. Back into a central position, it's Taylor. Carter Vickers rolls it with a right to the left there for Scales. Maidau's been really quiet today, unlike him, he's on it now. Level with the Rangers 18-yard line, back to Scales. Infield to Hatate, looks to pick out the pass for McGregor, but Raskin blocks it and it's cleared by Hadji. All the way into the Celtic half. It's Celtic 0, Rangers 1, but in the 55th minute.
Yeah, listen, Celtic just upping the ante a little bit, I think. Getting a little bit more possession of the ball in the second half than they've had. But that was brilliant play down the right-hand side from Kuhn. Real good, taking them on, that's what you want.
Yeah, and Kuhn's managed to find Johnston right-hand side of the Rangers box! And Kyogo puts it past! It might have bounced off the post there. Although the linesman who initially gave a goal kick says it's a save and it's a corner.
I think it's a save. Oh, it was good play again. Great run down.
Proper get anything on it?
I think the goalkeeper's got his foot to it. I would like to see the replay again.
Well, what a save it is if he has.
Celtic pushing now.
Yeah, Bernardo with the corner. Maida tries to flick on. Rangers have enough in the way to get it away. It's deflected in! It's deflected in! Taylor caught it at the edge of the box! And talk about making amends! The man who sold the Rangers goal equalises in the final for Celtic. It was a hit and hope at the edge of the box. It's bounced off proper. It's bamboozled Butland. And Celtic are level at Hampden. Celtic won. Rangers won.
Yeah, well, listen, there's a corner swung into that near post. Maeda getting across the front. I think it might have been, I'm looking at it, Igmani maybe going to sleep a little bit on the edge of the box, not doing his job, and then the shot comes on Raskin, comes off Raskin, and Butland no chance. That's when you want the guys on the edge of the box just to be sharp, know what they're doing, don't go to sleep.
Yeah, Rangers up the other end with Igaman trying to get in behind Scales, who reacts well and gets it clear. Hadji nods it infield. Igaman looks up at goal. Comfortable take for Schmeichel at his near post.
Well, it's blown it wide open, hasn't it? Celtic were certainly trying to push this second half to get the breakthrough. Yeah, fortuitous, absolutely no doubt. But Taylor going from villain to hero in a split second when he just hits a shot that ends up in the net, because he's had a poor day. Celtic were just showing signs, weren't they, with that Kuhn run, brilliant, just couldn't get a final bit. And then a pass to Johnson which was cut out in Kyogo. Whether it was a save or whether it was a tackle, we don't know yet, but they were pushing and they eventually get that breakthrough.
There was always going to be some kind of renaissance from Celtic in the second half. They simply had to answer, and they've come up with one. Here they come again. Kuhn on this near side. He's away from Jeff Day. Looks up, pulls it back. Bernardo's in space. He's been closed down. He has it. Tries to shift it to his right for Johnston. His pass is cut out. Makes to Kuhn on this near side, dancing along the 18-yard line. Rangers enough in the way to get it away, but it's Celtic who have it back with Bernardo at the right angle of the box. He moves it back to McGregor, who finds Kuhn, and now McGregor looking to bend it to the left-hand side of the box for Maida. It's headed away by Tavernier. Taylor looks like a man possessed, winning it back off Diamonde. Finds Maida, breaks back to McGregor, who lashes it over. He's claiming deflection for a corner. It's a goal kick though. But listen to the roar from the Celtic supporters. They know their team is turned up for the second half. Far from their best in the first. This is much more like it from the green and white side of the city.
I'll tell you what, Pat, Hatate was free if Maeda can just spot the run when he cuts in, but it's a goal kick. You were right, Pat.
Yeah, the initial one also from Bernardo when he got himself free in the space, he lost his orientation, he didn't know where he was. All he did was open up and bend it around the goalkeeper.
See, Rangers are wobbling though, you can see it, the goal's really rocked. They've just got to get a grip the way they did for that 5-10 minutes in the first half, settle down and make a couple of nice quick safe passes. Celtic right at it again.
Right back in the melting pot. One apiece. Couple of minutes shy of the hour now. Bouncing ball for Jeffy. Does deal with it with Kuhn putting the pressure on. Jeffy has it. Driving up the left, cutting in field, back out to the left, gives it away to Bernardo, and now he's found Kuhn, and the fullback's nowhere. Kuhn has it, right-hand side of the Rangers box, rolls it to Hatate, who forces the save from Butland, who holds on at the second attempt there with proper helping about. It stays Celtic 1, Rangers 1.
Yeah, you can't give the ball away. You know, Jeffy picking the ball, doing really well initially, and then puts the ball at risk, like what Celtic were doing. And then Celtic exploiting it. That man Kuhn down the right-hand side again, and picking out Hatate, and the shot comes away. Butland doing well just to get down very quickly and make the save.
Celtic well on top here, and Balogun's in trouble. Maida's charged it down and out. Maida's got it in his stride. He's in on Butland, and he scores! Cup final, turned round. Dies in Maida. Pilfer it from Balogun, drove in on goal, and lashes it into the bottom right corner. And having trailed at the interval, Celtic are in front in the final. Celtic 2. Rangers 1.
Well, whatever Brendan Rodgers said to him at half-time, they've turned this, flipped it right around from what Rangers were doing well in the first half, catching Celtic out. Celtic have done exactly the same to Rangers. Poor defensive work, you've got to say, but Maeda sharp as a tank, getting there, winning the ball, and then showing real composure, great control, and then the finish past Jack Butland to put Celtic 2-1 up. I didn't see that coming in this second half, to be honest, so quickly, but it has turned around completely.
Yeah, Rangers reacting. Yilmaz coming on. I'll tell you, Maeda was absolutely ruthless. But Rangers, Raskan, don't know what he's thinking. Everything they were doing right in the first half, just clear your danger, tries to knock it to Balogun. Maeda's on it in a flash, he's through and goal, he does brilliantly lob up, then he gets under control and just lashes it home. Brilliant from him. But Rangers were terrible in their choice making there when it came to just keeping the ball safe.
Well, it's a couple of goals in a few minutes, and it's completely changed the complexion of this first major cup final of the season. Ridvan Yilmaz has come on for Jeffy in amongst all of that, and they're in stoppage time at Rugby Park, where 10-man Kilmarnock still lead Hearts by a 1-0. We'll bring you the full-time score from there as soon as we get it. And I think they're into the first of 4 minutes of stoppage time in Ayrshire. Rangers looking to react here. Rabbit in the headlights since the break, but they will get a corner over on the far side.
You're on the money, Liam. The chance that Kuhn created kind of spooked Rangers, and then they were doing all the wrong things. We saw Jeffy, Pat described it perfectly, caught in possession, doing the things wrong, and Celtic certainly capitalised. But Rangers still have an opportunity, but they've got to try and conjure up something going forward.
An 11th goal of the season for Maeda has Celtic in front. Tavernier with the corner, though, headed away by Scales. Bouncing ball, drops to Yilmaz, picks up right centre area, midway inside the Celtic half. Out to the far side for Tavernier. Is he going to be on the losing side against Celtic again? Here he goes with a given goal by Rami, pulls it back towards Balogun. Really important defensive intervention. Down goes Diamonde! And the referee looked like he'd pointed to the spot, but he's given a Celtic free kick. They will, of course, check it. Diamonde clattered to the ground inside the box.
Yeah, I think it would have been a penalty if the tackle before it never happened. And I think it's Balogun that catches Carter Vickers when he goes to volley. He doesn't see Carter Vickers, he clears it. I think we'll see it here.
Oh yeah, he's caught him. He's gone and he slid in, Carter Vickers, but he did catch him. Oh, I didn't think that was actually a penalty either. When I look at it, he's gone down too easily. But I think the free kick has taken the pressure off the referee.
It's really good refereeing from John Beaton on that occasion.
Could have reacted quickly and got himself into trouble, or maybe blown because he's sure it's a free kick. Then that situation doesn't arise. But he called both perfectly when you saw it. I mean, he's caught him. I think Carter Vickers has gone with the studs, but he's won the ball, and then he's get booted by Balogun. Then Diamonde just goes to ground too easy.
Yeah, and I think even if he'd awarded the penalty and missed the previous foul, I think he would have been
it would have been rectified.
Looking at it, and it would have been overturned. Yeah. Diamonde went down too easily. So Celtic 2, Rangers 1, 63.5 here on Sportsound. League Cup final Sportsound, no less, this Sunday afternoon on BBC Radio Scotland. It is Rangers in possession with Yanis Hadji on this near side, out to Yilmaz, but he's given it away to Johnston, and now Kuhn comes again into the Rangers half. He goes, Yilmaz with a challenge, and then a foul by Kuhn, I think, there on Raskin. It'll be a Rangers free kick. And Philip Clement must be pretty stunned down there. And now I mentioned before Celtic's first, or before the chance for Kyogo, which Butland saved, Brendan Rodgers might be looking at his bench for attacking players to come on and try and alter the course of the match, but all of a sudden it's the Rangers manager who might have to do that.
Kuhn just changed everything with his run, didn't he? But Rangers are now playing open and with no discipline, and that's exactly what Celtic want.
Bayrami though, out to the right-hand side there on the touchline. Tavernier controls in the chest, lashes it high into the box, but it's a comfortable take for Kasper Schmeichel. I wonder if we can have a word with Willie Miller, because last time we heard from him, this cup final had a very different look to it. Willie?
Well, I did say at half-time that they need the big players to step up, and Maeda certainly did that, didn't they? You know, poor defending though from Rangers, Raskin and Balogun, getting themselves in all sorts of problems, but you know, it took, you know, the perception of Maeda, the quickness, and then the touch as it came out there. The touch was superb, setting it up for the strike. Wonderful goal, and it's been turned round. There's no doubt that Celtic have turned on the tap and are now playing the style of football that we all know that they're capable of.
Yeah, so much better. They took the first half off. By their standards, they did anyway. Here's Balogun for Rangers on the right-hand side of the centre circle. In the Celtic half, finds Tavernier, he gives it away. Maeda to Hatate. Kyogo had made the run ahead of him, but they played it safe. And he goes back, there's no need. I even said, right at the start of the second half, if Celtic were trailing, that they wouldn't be panicking at that point, and now they're 2-1 up. And what a victory for Kilmarnock this afternoon. They have beaten Hearts by a 1-0. Bruce Anderson's penalty in the first half was enough to win the day for Killie, and Derek McInnes will be elated with that, particularly given he had to watch a 7th red card for his team this campaign when Robbie Dees was ordered off in 6 minutes. So 1-0 Killie, and that leaves Hearts marooned at the bottom of the Premiership. Here comes Celtic, Maeda driving forward. Balogun has to time it right, and he does. Slides in, wins it back. Tavernier for Raskin, and he collides with Maeda. The ref had one eye on that, and he eventually stops play. And the free kick's given to Rangers, who might have been away in a counter there.
Yeah, Celtic's energy levels, Pat's gone right up. I mean, Raskin being absolutely rashed by Maeda and Kyogo. As soon as he loses the ball, it's back to the old Celtic way. Just let's get it back as quickly as we can. Kyogo picking up a booking.
And that fine detail we talked about, you know, getting the passes away now, that's happening for them, and they're getting into those in between the lines, which they weren't doing in the first half. That time it was Maeda able to open up and then go forward and play.
Rangers change, Leon Balogun on a card, looking a little bit ragged in this second half. It's going to be replaced by Dujon Sterling. Luke Reid, I think it was Chris Boyd somewhere, was talking about Dujon Sterling perhaps starting at centre back, and that was in the wake of the Spurs game. I think he and a couple of other former Rangers players felt that Tavernier might be better being left out of the starting 11 for this final. Tavernier was good against Spurs the other night. He kept his place. Sterling comes on, he'll go in centre back with
Copper. He's played there before against Celtic, so he'll just slot in there, have that pace.
Here come Rangers, good take by Yilmaz at the edge of the box, with his shots high and wild and over the bar as we go into the final quarter of the final. Celtic 2, Rangers 1, and just as a little footnote to that Kilmarnock victory, that's pushed them up to 8th position in the Premiership. It leaves Hearts a point marooned at the bottom away from St Johnstone. 4 points now between Killie and Hearts after that. Highlights tonight on Sports Scene, as there are of this final. League Cup final highlights tonight.
That's a real chance for Yilmaz, I tell you. That sits up perfectly. Good ball across from Diamande. It's a lovely touch from Yilmaz. And if you want something to sit round about 25 yards and say, that ball's sitting there perfect for a volley, that was it, and he just gets it all wrong when he tries to hit the dipping volley miles over the crossbar.
The Rangers fans felt Tavernier was fouled over on the far side.
Johnson's down.
He's coming off, Packy. Anthony Ralston and Arne Engels are both being readied just now, double change coming up. So Johnston was a fitness doubt coming into this final. They gambled to put him in from the start, but looks as though his race is run. So Ralston and Engels will come on. I'd imagine Engels will be on for Bernardo, we shall see. Celtic have it with Maida on the halfway line. To Hitake. And he goes back to Scales. And turn to his goalkeeper. Now with Carter Vickers, the two Celtic subs waiting to come on down below us at the edge of the technical area. Schmeichel rolling it to his left, Liam Scales on it. Comes up towards halfway. Unchallenged at the moment. It's a long ball by Scales. He's looking to try and find Kuhn. He's snuffed out here by Yilmaz, but he's forced to put it out for a Celtic throw in about level with the edge of the D of the Rangers penalty box. I think this is Johnston's over the throw, but I don't think he's going to be able to take it. He is coming off. Tony Ralston comes on. He's pretty much seen more minutes for Scotland this season than he has for Celtic. Seldom lets the team down though, and he will replace Johnston. And Engels is going to come on as well. Celtic's most expensive signing will enter the fray.
They're obviously taking a little bit of time to try to get a number on the board.
That's Bernardo.
Bernardo, yeah.
Seeing replays there of Maida's goal that has Celtic in front in this final. Brilliantly taken, because although he's racing in on goal after Raskin and Balogun's error, the ball's in the air, he's still got to control it, take the touch and finish, and he did. As Engels comes on for Bernardo.
I'm not sure what's happening here. I see Brendan Rodgers. Is McGregor just going to take the throw in, or are they going to take the throw? No, it's a strange one.
The Rangers fans won't enjoy this. Celtic taking their time over it, McGregor down the line, and then it bounces off Kuhn and out for a Rangers throw-in. Rangers have had a couple of cup wins over Celtic here over the last decade, one on penalties. Tom Rogic firing it high over the bar in 2016, just before the arrival of Rodgers in his first spell. 2-1 in extra time in the Scottish Cup semi a few years later, after the European exploits, as Czerny shoots from distance and Schmeichel beats it behind for the corner. Caught it brilliantly, sweet there did Václav Czerny. Schmeichel equal to it, Rangers corner.
Yeah, it was a really good strike, and I don't think the goalkeeper, unless it was really in the top corner, was going to get beat from there, but he had an overlap from Tavernier down the right-hand side. He elected to strike it.
In from Tavernier, it's another poor corner. The corners actually today have been ranked from both teams.
Good words.
Yeah, haven't they?
No, absolutely, absolutely. You're right to point out, just having a little giggle at your word there, Liam.
It is Rangers in possession with Proper. Back to Raskin. It's dropped between the left centre back and left back here. Raskin rolls it back to Proper inside his own half. To the right there, Sterling out to Tavernier. Rather Hadji it is. Tavernier's further up the pitch. Hadji marauding forward. He's been quite quiet today as he gets up to the Celtic box, but it bounces off him, ricochets off the defender, back off the Romanian and behind for a goal kick to Celtic. It is Celtic 2, Rangers 1. We've played 72.
Yeah, time's moved on in the second half, and of course Celtic are in the commanding position, well, it's not a commanding position, I've got to say.
As for where they were, Pat.
Yeah, but they're in the lead, and that at this point in time in the final, that's what you want. And then it forces the opposition then to come and come out and almost try and have a go, and it opens up areas for Celtic then to exploit a little bit.
Ralston back to Carter Vickers, who in turn goes back to his keeper. Czerny closing him down. Schmeichel deals with it. Engels can't get much on it. It's picked up by Raskin on this near side. Rolls it forward for Bayrami. Bayrami up towards the edge of the box. Cuts back the way towards his own goal. Then squares it to Diamonde. Diamonde out to the right-hand side of the Celtic box. Level with the 18-yard line. Tavernier. Czerny again. Bayrami's made space on the right. Czerny finds Tavernier. Tavernier takes a touch and rolls it out to the right. The cross comes in, takes a deflection. Diamonde trying to get onto it. Egaman is a slash at it. No, he couldn't keep it in play. Raskin down by the byline. Egaman, it looked as though it had fallen beautifully for him, and he's punching the Hampden turf in frustration. It stays Celtic 2, Rangers 1.
No wonder Rangers are 5 in the box, and when it breaks to him, that again is sitting up perfectly. He's just got to concentrate on the contact, gets it all wrong.
Celtic giving it away. Diamonde into the box, Egaman. Right hand side of it, tight angle, pulls it back to Diamonde, looks up, shoots it, goal! And Schmeichel has got a touch on that. Brilliant save. And it will be a Rangers corner on this near side.
They've been proud of that one, Pat. I mean, Celtic's littered with mistakes.
Taken quickly, Hadji's ball in, headed away by Carter Vickers. Just a few more of those first half errors that we saw from Celtic, creeping back into their play. Rangers trying to hunt down the equaliser. This final's got away from them since the break. Diamonde wins the corner, bounces it off Scales. Rangers corner on the northwest side of the stadium. Packy's not getting a chance to come in because they've taken it short and quick. Out to the right hand side, the cross comes in. Diamonde on the turn, goal! Diamonde squeezes it past Schmeichel into the bottom left corner. And this topsy-turvy seesaw battle in Glasgow's south side has just taken another turn. Mohamed Diamonde, with his biggest moment in a Rangers jersey, ties up the final. Yet again, it is Celtic 2, Rangers 2.
Well, Rangers getting a number of corners consecutively, taking them quickly, putting the pressure on Celtic. The ball's just played in, and it was Diamonde. I'm looking at it, he's just bullied Ingles out of the way, got in front of him, and then just brilliant turn and finish, I've got to say, past the goalkeeper. But Ingles has got to be in front of him there. Don't allow a player to get in front here. They can able to get control.
I think it's all about Diamonde and his touch, and then his desire and his determination from Diamonde. It was smart, wasn't it? Once the ball comes in, he just takes a touch from right, kind of on the swivel that enables him to get a look up and the goal's suddenly open. Just make sure you get it on target, which he does, into the ground and beyond Schmeichel, and suddenly this game has been blown wide open again.
It took a little touch off Kyogo and ended up in the net. Kyogo got the final touch, and he's just been replaced by Ida. Celtic mixed things up at the other end of the pitch, but this final could go either way now. Is it destined for extra time? We shall see. Carter Vickers finds Engels. Out towards Kuhn, little flick for Engels, lovely flick to Ralston, back to Engels, looking for Ralston. Hadji gets in the way and goes down, he's fouled in his own box by the Celtic sub right back. And that will be a free kick to Rangers, so 2 apiece here. Kyogo going off, he did get the final touch. I'm not sure if Schmeichel would have saved it had it not taken the touch off Kyogo, who's scored 4 goals for Celtic in League Cup finals. He was on target, it's a Diamonde goal, but would Schmeichel have saved it otherwise? And it came just after that wonderful save he produced from the same player just before.
He'd be so disappointed because that save was extraordinary. Fantastic save, top right-hand corner, cross him, and he makes a brilliant save.
Oh, there's Egaman's in behind, left-hand side, being closed down now, but it's still Egaman. Reverses it, Hadji, left-hand side of the box, down to the byline, pulls it back, and that gone over the line. I just wonder if Hadji'd failed to keep it in. I think he has done. He's got his arms outstretched, he's wanting a corner. And I think the ball is just either offside or it's gone over the line. Either way, it's going to be a Celtic free kick, and it's 2 apiece, and it's back on the precipice.
Yes, and it's been an extraordinary game from that perspective, isn't it? You know, like, I'm not saying it was the highest quality of a game, but it's got drama, and that's what you want in the final. Drama, goals, excitement.
Willie Miller, are you excited?
Very excited, yeah. I mean, the game's swinging from one team to the other. You think that the second goal from Celtic, once that goes in, that they're going to control it. I felt that they just fell back. They allowed the pace of the game just to slow right down, and Rangers took advantage of it. They upped the energy, they upped the tempo, you know, and have managed to get themselves level again. So yeah, it's an exciting game. I think, you know, it's much better in the second half than what it was in the first half. I think the sort of a tempo of the game is much higher, and it's a much better spectacle.
Yeah, and it was a pretty poor Scottish Cup final between them in May as well, settled by that late Ida goal. Celtic didn't care about the standard of that game. They've got a throw-in up the pitch here. Ida, first touch for him, Proper with a challenge. Celtic though with the corner on this near side. 12 to play at the 98, 2 apiece.
Yeah, good centre forward play, getting his body between the ball and the player and forcing the player to put the tackle in, give away the corner, keep Celtic on the front foot.
And Engels over it. Corner flag fluttering in the breeze. The Celtic sub takes with the right foot, outswinger into the Rangers box. It comes, that was better, it's flicked away. Eagleman completes the clearance at the edge of the box, no more height and distance. Ralston heads it back in, all the way through to Butland. Really intriguing climax to this one now, that's for sure. Eagleman plays it off Kuhn and out for a throw into Rangers on this near side.
I'll tell you what, if Savey had to connect properly, Butland in that one, Journey was right through the middle. He made a great run, and you know, a goalkeeper can hit those balls right over the top, and he was in.
Here come Rangers down the right with Tavernier, gets the cross in, headed away by Scales. Bouncing ball, Ida looking for Maida, it's come off the head of Sterling, who's up the pitch here. John Sterling hoists it forward down the right for Czerny, who gets a touch onto it, but McGregor slides in, but he slips as it was out for a Rangers throw-in. Level with the Celtic penalty spot on the far side from the north stand. Czerny and Tavernier exchange passes. Czerny's ball is poor, it's cut out the angle. Ida's onto it, he gives it away to Czerny. Ida trying to charge it down and get Celtic away here. Maida trying to work it back into the path of Ida, driving down the left. Rangers closing out his options though, and is to settle for a throw-in for his team over on the far side. Just the big Irishman. Heading towards the final 10 minutes. This second half has gone past in a flash.
Yeah, you get the feeling who's going to blink next, isn't it? That's kind of feel of the game. Is it going to be a mistake? Is it going to be a bit of brilliance? It's just on a knife edge just now, the full game.
Tati has it on the far side, he's found Maida, not a great first touch. Rangers can get it half away. Engels picks up, poor ball blocked, breaks back to McGregor though. Celtic come again, wide on the left hand side, the cross ball from that far side from Tati goes all the way through to Jack Butland, and it stays Celtic 2, Rangers 2 on 80.
Maeda again, he was in a great position, all alone, driving through the centre almost of Rangers defence, and his touch just was so poor. If he just had to open up, he was right through on Butland.
Long ball forward from the Rangers keeper, headed into the midfield by Carter Vickers, hoisted back forward by Raskin. Scales, not a decisive header. Ralston gets away from the edge of his own box. Raskin fires it forward out to this left-hand side for Hadji. Difficult one for him though, and he can't control. Bounces off his chest, he falls to the ground, and Celtic have a throw-in on this near side. Be a brave person to call this now, I would suggest.
Yeah, it can go either way. You know, two sets of players have put lots of energy into this game, I've got to say. You know, Rangers in the first half, Celtic coming back at them in the second half and getting the lead, and then Rangers again up in the ante to get their goal back, and really extraordinary game from that perspective.
League Cup final has gone to extra time 16 times. This is the 79th as the long ball for Celtic comes all the way through to Butland, with Kuhn chasing it, and it's in the gloves of the Rangers keeper. Are we destined for another half hour, maybe penalties?
Even though that one was straightforward, you're not sure until it's safely in the gloves. That's the kind of feel the game's got about it. You're just waiting for somebody to make a mistake, which will cost their team the cup final, or the cup.
Can happen. You don't want it to happen to somebody though, don't you? You don't want really a mistake. You want to see the game won with a good bit of play.
Yilmaz with a throw-in back onto halfway for Raskin, who's back into his own half for Proper. And now Raskin on this near side, long ball forward. Eagleman giving chase, comes off Carter Vickers, then off Scales, and Schmeichel holds on.
Yeah, it was again that ball, trying it over the top, and it nearly caught out the Celtic defence.
McGregor under pressure from Bayrami, finds Maida on the left hand side. Maida moves in field, looking to find Tate. It's cut out though, and then cleared by Diamonde.
Again Maeda 1v1, but he comes on the inside, and it's a simple pass for Hatate. He was driving through the middle, and he doesn't make the pass, and that little detail that we talk about all the time.
Celtic with Engels, right hand side of the box, crosses in, it's way too deep though. There's nobody. If you're going to put the ball into the box, you need to find Ida.
He didn't even have to lift it, Liam. He's in a position where I think Ida is in a great position. He showed for him, he could actually have fired it along the ground, and he chose and he waited to, that was shut off, and he thinks, I'll just play it over the top and curl it. just in between the penalty spot and the 6-yard box, but got it all wrong. Engels.
There's Maida looking for Hatate, left-hand side of the Rangers box. Sterling clears out for a Celtic throw, and it goes level with the Rangers penalty spot. Pulled in by Taylor. To the byline, Ida trying to force it back the way the man who won the Scottish Cup. It's cut out though. Long clearance. Scales wrestling Egeman. The ref's happy with the challenge. The Rangers fans weren't. They will maybe get a free kick here. Celtic. Engels brought down, and will be a free kick just left of the centre circle. It's getting to that point where the players will be looking, well, we could actually have 30 minutes to sort this out rather than the 6 minutes plus stoppage time that remain here. I asked that question ahead of the late drama in the Scottish Cup final as Celtic come through. Kuhn, he's got the better of Yilmaz initially, but really well dealt with by Yilmaz, but he's lost it. Kuhn wins it back to the penalty spot. It goes. Ida goes to ground, looking for a penalty, not getting one.
No, it wasn't a penalty. It was, he tried to control the ball and the defender stood strong. But again, Kuhn doing brilliantly.
I think he should have got a shot off though. He had so much time, I don't think he realised where he was in the box. Maybe he thought somebody's close to me. But once he turns and nicks it back off, Yilmaz, I'm thinking just touch it with your left, curl it. But the chance is gone because he dwelled.
Rangers have it wide on the right. They're up the pitch here. Rolled back to Diamonde, finds Czerny. Diamonde continues his run, it breaks to him. To Bayrami, good footwork, right hand side of the box. He scores and lashes it into the side net. The man who gave Rangers the lead in the first half managed to wriggle himself free of Celtic jerseys, and he fires it into the side of Kasper Schmeichel's goal frame, and it goes behind for the goal kick, and it stays Celtic 2, Rangers 2, with 5 minutes of the 90 left of this nerve shredder at the National Stadium. Danilo will replace Bayrami, and Rangers change here.
Yeah, another forward going player. Rangers going for it, but that was a decent effort, I've got to say, for Bayrami. He got himself into a decent position, good footwork, but he just sort of almost had to cross the ball, and it goes into the side netting.
So there's the change for Rangers. Bayrami has played well in that number 10 role as he did the other night. It was him tapping home to give Rangers the lead. Greg Taylor's deflected effort. Maida put Celtic 2-1 up. The equaliser from Diamonde is what right now is taking this cup final to an extra 30 minutes. Engels out to this near side for Ralston, keeps it in play, rolls it forward, now Kuhn's onto it. Yilmaz slipped, Kuhn driving forward, options right and left. It's Kuhn, it's Engels, right hand side of the box, pulls it back, huge chance, and a huge goal for Celtic! Nicolas Kuhn side foots the ball home, and it looks like it might be late cup final heartache for Rangers against their bitter rivals again, and sheer joy for the green and white half of Hampden. Nicolas Kuhn might have just won the League Cup and wrestled it back from Rangers' grasp. It is Celtic 3, Rangers 2, with just 3.5 of the 90 to play.
Yeah, Yilmaz getting caught out, he goes to ground, tries to cut the ball out, great cut back from Engels into Kuhn's path. Initially, Kuhn lays it into the path of him, and everybody thinks he's going to slide it across the 6-yard box. He cuts it back almost towards the penalty spot. Brilliant cut back, and there was Kuhn all on his own, picking a spot perfectly past the goalkeeper to put Celtic into that position.
They're checking something. They're just completed the check, so the goal stands. Clement is furious down there. There will be 5 minutes, I think, being added on at the end of this as Kuhn celebrated in front of the Celtic supporters. What a season he's been having, and that is his 12th of the campaign. He's well into double figures for assists as well. He has caught fire and some. You can see why there are suitors. And Billy Dodds, it is so Celtic.
Yeah, it was a bit of quality. They got fortunate with the little deflection. It took it past Yilmaz, took all the Rangers players out.
Here come Rangers. Czerny, bench it in! Goal! Equaliser! Danilo! The ball came from the right. Schmeichel's furious. But Danilo, within a minute, has Rangers level again. What a game that is being served up here. They do not want to give goes Rangers. It is Celtic 3, Rangers 3. What a final!
Inspired, doesn't it? I mean, Tierney doesn't panic. He's out in that right-hand side. He gets it back onto his favoured left, and he just hangs up a ball, gets between Ralston and Carter Vickers, and he just has to direct it high into the net to get Rangers back in it. You thought they were down and out. Well, they're not. Right back in it with that brilliant header from Danilo.
Well, the first half was pretty poor, to be perfectly honest, but my goodness, Packy, what a second half.
Oh, my word. It's an incredible game. You know, it's a game that has led up the final, I've got to say. You know, we talk about finals, we talk about drama, we talk about, you know, and today, I think, apart, not the brilliant game, we keep saying that, but it's got everything, I've got to say.
Butland flops down in the ball.
Tati's injured over the left-hand side. He's down, he's struggling.
I was just talking through the Kuhn goal. I mean, the deflection took all the Rangers players out. Then it was brilliant from Engels. Real quality, because there's not been a lot of quality in the game. There's been excitement, but not a lot of quality. The pick-out's brilliant. Kuhn just has to concentrate, and the connection, he does that. And Rangers, their bit of quality. Tierney could have put it in, but he's right. He doesn't, gets it back onto the left. Celtic deep right off. And Danilo just heads, directs a header over Schmeichel to get it right back in it.
Yeah, I just wonder whether, obviously Carter Vickers, we talk about aerial prowess, we talk about Schmeichel not coming for crosses, and of course Ralston's just on the pitch. Between the three of them, I thought they should have been able to deal.
They were really
deep. They should have been able to deal with that cross.
Packy, yeah, 6 minutes have been added. They've added an extra minute on top of it. That's about to be confirmed by Stephen McLean, the fourth official. 6 minutes added. Ralston fouled by Raskin down on the near side. Celtic have made their 3 sub breaks, so Hitate's going to have to soldier through. They will get another sub opportunity. Raskin booked for that, incidentally. They will get another chance to make a sub if this game makes it to extra time.
Yeah, well, they'll be desperate to get extra time now, because Tate looks as if he can't run, you know.
Ralston rolling it back to Carter Vickers. And now with Schmeichel. Short ball, it's not a great one. He gave it straight to the man who's injured, Hitate. Carter Vickers, though, clears. Now Ida in the centre circle. Out to the left for Taylor. Maida's on his bike, but he elects to chop back in field as Taylor, as we approach the end of the first minute of 6 that were added.
That's brilliant from Hitate, though. That is under pay at this time in the cup final, and it's a terrible pass to him from Schmeichel. He does ever so well to get to it. He's tired, as you said, Liam, he's injured, and he just opens out the boot to pop it to the right back, which was crucial.
Hitate just across the halfway line. Taylor coming forward, moving in field, and then rolling it back to McGregor. Squares it to Hitate. He's moving a little bit freer now, Rio Hitate. He's found Kuhn on the right-hand side with the switch. Kuhn shows too much of it to Yilmaz, though, and gets it away. And Rangers have it. Danilo forward to Igaman. Foul by Carter Vickers. He is bouncing around there in fury, and the Celtic defenders booked by John Beaton.
He's got an eye on Carter Vickers. He knows he's winning the ball, but he leaves a bit on the striker. Yeah, he gets plenty of the ball, there's no doubt. He could just win the tackle, no problem, but it's tackle and it's have a bit more after it, and I've seen him do it a few times. And I think it's more the demonstration is why he gets booked.
Yeah, the reaction was one from someone who felt he won more than his fair share of the ball there. And as a defender, he's asking what's wrong with that. But you can't endanger your opponent in those terms these days. So Carter Vickers book, Rangers free kick, proper takes. Tavernier can't get anything onto it. Breaks to Taylor, infield for Hitate. Danilo's goal looks like taking this to an extra 30 minutes. Celtic have lost it again, up for the first time. Hadji chopped by Engels, bounces back up. Danilo to his left, he's found him. Danilo, left-hand side of the area, pulls it back, headed half away. Hadji takes it down in the area. Takes it for a run to the left-hand side and wins the corner off Carter Vickers. And Rangers trying to win this in normal time. 3 apiece at Hampden.
Well, they're going for it. No tiredness here. Getting to every second ball. Hadji getting the shot. Corner coming.
In swinging corner. Hadji, it's poor. It's away by McGregor. Breaks the Tierney at the edge of the box, though. Well defended by Celtic and by Greg Taylor. McGregor now finds Maida. Kuhn wants it. Maida hauled to the ground by Tavernier. That'll be another yellow. That will be another yellow card. It's not been a dirty game, but the yellow cards
Senegal,
are being
Senegal
flashed now.
fouls more than anything else.
Quick free kick.
Had to be done.
Celtic 2 want to win this in normal time. Ida for Arne Engels down this right hand side. 3.5 of the 6 minutes that were added have been played, and a foul there by Engels on Yilmaz. Rangers free kick deep inside their own half. I mean, you have to say fair play to Rangers, because when Kuhn scores that goal, it looked done. It looked done.
Absolutely, you've got to manage the game out then, you've got to be clever, and that they haven't been, and they've allowed Rangers to get good possession in their own half.
Not just once, so twice. I mean, you think, oh, a turnaround, Celtic going on to win this as soon as Maeda scores. But then when they score so late, you're right, Liam, you think, oh, done and dusted. But good mentality from Rangers to come back.
To win Rangers, they're up the pitch here on the cusp of the attacking third. Yanis Hadji to take. Less than 2 minutes left of the normal time. And then it will be extra time. It's proper, rolls it to Sterling. Rolls it low out to Tavernier. Wasn't a great ball. Tavernier's made it work though. He sweeps it all the way back low to Butland. Being closed down by Ida. Butland clears. He's done well. He's found Celtic in the midfield. Jack Butland's not a great ball. He did well initially, and it's come all the way through, and an offside flag goes up on this near side, and Rangers have a free kick. And it's looking like extra time. I think we can safely say that with a minute left.
A minute to go, it looks that way, but you couldn't even say that up until the last couple of minutes, to be perfectly honest, because it's gone ebbed and flowed. This game has been really good from a point of view of entertaining.
Over on this near side with Kuhn, flicks it forward but straight to Raskin, midway inside the Celtic half, trips the ball low or high towards Scales, who heads away low at the edge of his own box, but now it's Danilo, left hand side, left angle for Hadji's on the right foot, he shoots, it's deflected, corner, maybe not done yet, maybe not extra time.
I was going to say to you, the way this game's going, you couldn't bank on extra time, that's for sure. And then Rangers get the possession. Hadji edge of the box, hits a right foot strike, blocked for yet another corner, dying seconds.
Supporters of both sides biting their nails.
They're all in on top of Schmeichel too in that 6-yard box. Tavernier on the ball to strike it in.
This is the last chance of normal time. It's in from Tavernier. It's another poor corner headed away by his opposite captain McGregor. Hadji to Tavernier. I make that time up. The 6 minutes have come and gone. Rangers still come with Egeman on this near side. Chipped ball in towards the back post. It's going to bounce away from Sterling, and John Beaton sends this League Cup final to extra time. A quite incredible, astonishing second half here at Hampden. Rangers led at half-time thanks to that Bayrami goal. Celtic, though, turned it around before the hour mark. A deflected Taylor goal. Maida putting Celtic in front before Mohamed Diamonde, with 15 to play, hooked for goal. It bounced off Kyogo into the net, and Rangers were level. On 87 minutes though, Nicolas Kuhn thought he'd won it for Celtic as he side-footed home past Butland. That though, just a minute before Danilo's header, right in front of goal, into the roof of the net, sent this to an extra 30 minutes. Pretty tepid first half, a quite explosive second, and it finishes after 90 minutes and stoppage time here. Celtic 3, Rangers 3.
The Scottish League Cup Final.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
Where Scottish football lives.
You have to say that was absolutely breathtaking, the two sets of players trying to recharge the batteries. You really did not know where that game was going for the most part in the second half. It may have been Willie Miller short in quality at times, but it was absolutely bursting, full to the brim with excitement and drama, wasn't it?
Oh, it kept your interest, Richard, that's for sure. Second half in particular, you know, and you know, at times some crazy defending as well. We spoke about it before the game, and there was quite a number of examples. But for Rangers, they come back. First of all, when Celtic get the equaliser, you know, a little bit of good fortune attached to it when Taylor strikes and the deflection, takes it into the back of the net, and then Maeda, what a goal that was. Spoke about it at the time. He takes it out of the air. Really difficult to do that. Magnificent skill that he's managed to get it under control and drill it into the back of the net. And you think Celtic are just going to go on and take the game, but Rangers' character, determination. Philippe Clement can be more than delighted with everything that he's got out his players in the second half, and Diamondi to get that second goal, and then right at the death as well. Kuhn 3-2. You're thinking, well, surely Rangers can't come back from that, but poor defending again for me. Carter Vickers he gets lost. Anthony Ralston doesn't pick up Danilo as well, and it's quite an easy header into the back of the net. Listen, full of excitement. The fans have definitely got their money's worth, and there's still more to come.
Sure is. We're guaranteed the extra half hour. There may well be a penalty shootout beyond that. 49,420 the crowds just been announced, and we've just seen a change being made by Celtic as Greg Taylor goes off for the closing part of this incredible drama, and Alex Baye comes on for the extra time period. The Celtic players back in the huddle, the Rangers players back out there too. John Beaton striding purposefully towards the centre circle. We're about to get the extra time up and running with Pat Bonner, Billy Dodds and Liam McLeod.
It's all been pretty breathless over the last 50-60 minutes. Richard says Baye coming on for Taylor. I'm amazed that Tate's able to continue. It looked like he was on his last legs towards the end of the 90 minutes there, but he's okay. So Rangers will kick off the first period of extra time. It's just the 17th time it's done so. First time since 2014 when Aberdeen beat Cally Thistle at Celtic Park on penalties. That one of just 4 times the final's been settled by a shootout. Will that be the case today? We'll see. Rangers in the blue and white kick off, going left to right towards the east end of the stadium in the first period. Celtic in the green and white hoops, going right to left towards Mount Florida. Certainly very, very intriguing, and both teams will feel that they can go on and win this without the need of a shootout, as Carter Vickers rolls it out to Maeda on the near side under pressure from Tavernier. Finds Baye, the all-known Barcelona wing-back, has it, but he runs into Raskin, who wins it back for Rangers. Now it's with Czerny. Side-footed forward there to Hadji. Raskin to his right. Hadji driving forward himself here. Right-hand side of the Celtic box. Scales comes to meet him. McGregor too, and it's a poor ball by Hadji behind Raskin and out for a throw into Celtic on this near side.
And the mistakes continue. You could see that just 2 tired players, well, it shouldn't be, because Valle just on the pitch could have gone inside to Engels and just gave away the pass, and that means he's out of position. And then Hadji gets up the right hand side, turns back, tries to roll it back, and just puts out the pitch. So yeah, the tiredness certainly kicking in even this early.
Adamida driving down the right hand side. He'll win the throw in for Celtic, deep inside the Rangers half, but level with the edge of the D of the Rangers box, taken quickly by Ralston. And here comes Celtic down that right-hand side. Kuhn, did Ralston keep it in? No, he didn't. The flag's gone up. Throw in to Rangers deep inside their own half over on the far side.
Yeah, this is when tiredness probably, I know it's early in the extra time, but tiredness, that silly little mistakes come creeping in, and it really is just a mental thing when you go into extra time.
Last time Rangers beat Celtic in a cup final, that went to extra time as well. Nikita Jelavic scoring the decisive goal after Davis and Ledley had traded strikes in normal time. Jelavic one hit the post and trickled right along the goal line. It's going to take an age to end up in the net. That long ball comes all the way through to Jack Butland, who holds on to it inside his own penalty area. 3-3 at Hampden. Sports Sound, BBC Radio Scotland across the frequencies, on Extra, on Sounds, online at bbc.co.uk/sportscotland, and on 810 medium wave as that long ball was out of play for a Celtic throw-in. Tavernier stretching the neck muscles, couldn't get onto it. It's with McGregor, who hooks it back into his own box for Carter Vickers. Squares it to Scales, he's lost it to Czerny, then hauls Czerny to the ground, and Liam Scales will be booked. It's right on the 18-yard line. He panicked there, you could see it.
Yeah, it's that quick closing down again. Czerny just reading the situation, getting to him. He wasn't able to open out on his left foot, and he had to come back inside and take an extra touch. And that he was lucky that it wasn't inside the box, actually.
So he got him on his right side as well. I mean, he's tugging his right boots on the line.
It's not far from being a penalty.
Yeah, I thought that at the time. I'm thinking, right, he's tugged in the right side. But anyway, it wasn't a great ball from Carter Vickers to him. I'm thinking, any wrongdoing here, you're getting robbed, son, because Czerny was right on Scales, and he took a bad touch. Czerny robbed him, and the rest is history. But that was close. That was borderline, right on the line.
Well, after all that, Rangers have a free kick practically on the 18-yard line. It's closer to the right angle of the box than it is the D, as they attack the goal to our right. Hadji, Tavernier, Czerny all over it. Four-man Celtic wall. Chance for Rangers. It'll be Hadji with the left. You'd think it would favour him. Tavernier with the right is also the option. It is Tavernier, and he hoists it over the bar.
Yeah, it's one of them
goal kick
where you're trying to slide it into the narrowest, smallest position right in the top of the crossbar, or you go to the opposite side and try and read the goalkeeper to read himself. Yeah, very close.
Yeah, Package has seen a replay of the challenge there by Liam Scales and Czerny. It led to that free kick. Scales mightily relieved.
I tell you,
that's come to nothing.
Czerny's foot's right on the line and he's being told.
Rangers have it with Egeman attacking the Celtic box. McGregor nicks it off him though. He's looking a bit tired, Egeman. Saw him, he had the box of tricks out against Spurs the other night, and he's just putting a really lazy, scything challenge in on the far side on Ralston, and he's going to be the latest player into John Beaton's book.
Yeah, he just goes to ground, and Ralston just lifted the ball over him, and if you don't make contact with the ball, then you're getting yourself. He just flipped it over his foot.
A really lazy, scything challenge, as you described, Liam, but a tired one and a striker's challenge, you would have to say, and add on to that.
Ida spinning away from Proper, rolling it down the right-hand touchline for Kuhn, who mentally must have thought he was taking the cup back to Parkhead for that goal 3 minutes from the end of the 90. And then a little bit of afters between he and Raskin.
That's what the referee doesn't want to make a decision on in the final. He does to, once you raise your arms though, you're putting yourself in a little bit of danger.
Rangers have it down the left. Yilmaz looking for Hadji, cut out though by Engels, breaks the way of Ralston, and goes back to his goalkeeper. Low ball forward there to Callum McGregor, who, as I said earlier, has never lost a cup final at any point in his career. Ida fouled in the centre circle, or was he? I think the ref did eventually award the decision, and it will be a free kick just inside their own half for Celtic to be taken by McGregor. The left foot, 6 minutes into extra time. It's 3-3. They took it too quickly for referee Beaton's liking. And they will have an opportunity here to take it again with Carter Vickers, who's asking the referee what the problem is. And continues the dialogue with a couple of the players, Callum McGregor and Danilo, whose goal it is that took this game to extra time. McGregor with the left foot to his right for Carter Vickers. He gives it back to McGregor. Carter Vickers again, 3 apiece. 6 goals shared. Scrappy extra time though. That goes out, long ball down the right for Celtic, is out for a Rangers throw.
Really sloppy from Carter Vickers now, and you know, he'd slide the ball down with a nice little bit of quality, and he lifts it up into the air and just gives the possession back to Rangers again by knocking it out of play.
Egeman's yellow card there was the 8th of this cup final. Rangers have it in the midfield. Hadji down the line looking for Danilo. Not going to get onto it. Egeman went down wanting a free kick. It's going to be a Celtic throw-in though, just inside the Rangers half. How did you guys find extra times to play in?
Nervous.
I think maybe the World Cup final in Qatar a couple of years ago, that was very enjoyable, but they don't tend to be.
No, I always found them quite nervous because, as you rightly say, you don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to be the one that's going to dump your team out. Of course, you can become the hero, but that's what you almost just want to get to be over, don't you, Billy?
It's more, yeah, you're right, it's nervous, but you become tense. You can see it with us, the first 8 minutes of injury time, where the players are now scared to make a mistake that's going to cost them the trophy, so it all becomes all too tense at times. You don't get a good spectacle.
Celtic have it with McGregor at the edge of the Rangers box. Yilmaz blocks it though and gets it away. Hadji forward looking for Egaman, read though by Carter Vickers. Ball forward to Ralston, it's back to Scales, knocks it short forward to Hatate, out to Carter Vickers on the far side. Turns back towards his own goal, away from Egaman, plays it into the circle for Scales, to the left of it for Baye. Now forward for Hatate. Hatate's got Baye to his left, uses him as the decoy, rolls it forward. Engels with a poor first touch, and that allows Butland to smother. A better touch there from Arne Engels, and the young Belgian might have been in to put Celtic back in front. It stays 3-3. We've played 9 minutes of extra time.
Yeah, it was a good pass, good build-up from Celtic, but you would expect with his qualities that he should be able. He's only on the pitch. It's not as if he should be that tired. And it was a bad touch. Just get control of the ball. You know where you are on the pitch. You're on the edge of the box, and if you're any type of touch at all, you're in.
Some pass from Hatate though.
Rangers about to bring Cyril Dessers on. Here's Czerny for Rangers down the right-hand side. He slipped it in behind Baye. Tavernier has it. It's a dreadful ball from James Tavernier. Surely the low road there for Egaman or Danilo in the 6-yard box was the option. He went high, it's cleared. Here they come again, ball in from the left, held on to by Schmeichel, and it stays Celtic 3, Rangers 3.
I think Egaman is also injured. Yeah.
He'll be the one coming off, you would imagine, with Dessers waiting below us.
But back to Tavernier, what a chance. It's as if he's been caught in between. I'm going to shoot, and then last minute I'm just going to hang up across, and gets all wrong, because he's got the quality, and if he shows it, we just talked about the words nervous and tense. That was it right there. When he gets there, just froze and then just hung a ball up far too far.
An incredible decision from Tavernier.
Unbelievable, but especially when somebody like Tavernier, there's players who you know have got that quality to deliver, and he just got it all wrong.
Yeah, Schmeichel's landed awkwardly here. He came to claim the ball between Baye and Tavernier.
Yeah.
Here's the Rangers change. Egaman couldn't repeat the heroics from the last couple of games. Scored that terrific goal against Ross County a week ago today, before his strike against Spurs on Thursday. And he is replaced by Dessers, the Rangers' top scorer.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Schmeichel too. He's hobbling around a little bit, and I don't know whether he's come down poorly or...
Celtic giving it away. Rangers have it. Raskin back to Proper, and he squares it to Dujon Sterling. We're 4 minutes away from half-time and extra time. It's out for a throw on this near side for Rangers. Remember earlier today, a crucial victory for Kilmarnock, 1-0 against Hearts, down to 10 men. Bobby Dees sent off early, Bruce Anderson converting the penalty, 1-0 it finished. Here at the National Stadium, 3-3 between these two in this slugfest. And it's Hatate for Engels. Stabs it into the centre circle for Ralston, back to Carter Vickers, who was fouled by Dessers, was he? Yes. And Cyril Dessers is going to become the latest to go into John Beaton's book. He caught Carter Vickers. Now, I don't think there's any question he's tried to go for the ball there, but it's going down as a reckless challenge, and that's going to be a yellow for the Rangers striker who's just on.
Yeah, he was very late, wasn't he? You know, the pass was made, he was in late, he'd made up his mind to go for the ball, and he should have been pulling back. They just catches him on the foot. It was definitely a booking, very late.
So, free kick to Celtic. No real opportunities other than that Tavernier chance to square a moment ago since extra time started. A little bit tentative out there from both, and you can understand that given the stakes. Hatate with a lovely spin on Diamonde. Shifts it left to right of the circle for Engels. Hadji slips, Engels rolls it to his right for Ralston. Ralston out to the touchline for Kuhn. Rolls it back the way to Arne Engels. Back down the line for Ralston. We're going to get the early ball in. It's a poor cross and it sails over the byline in the goal frame, and that will be a goal kick to Rangers. 3-3 it is. There will be 1 minute as it stands added on at the end of the first period of extra time.
Yeah, listen, he got into a great position, Tony Ralston down that right hand side. I don't even think the cross was on, actually. You know, he's almost not, his balance wasn't right to hit that cross in, Billy. Just take his time, and he just skies it away over the crossbar.
Liam's asked us a question, we've already touched on it. The mind does strange things in a final at this time, extra time, when you would do things differently. Just an open play, nice and early in the game, it would be a bit of quality. Now it's just one of these teams, you called it a slugfest, quite rightly so, Liam. I think it just looks as if whoever can force himself over the line now, by any manner of means, just to get the job done. Because there's no quality in the game.
It's two tired boxers in the ring out there, isn't it? They are dead in their feet as Buckland clears from the goal kick. Dessers, a good touch by him. He's just on. He won't be tired as he finds Czerny. It's off Hatate and out for a Rangers throw. Of course, any injuries now, I think both teams have made their full quota of substitutions, so they have to go with what they have out there now. Rangers giving it away, McGregor giving it away, Raskin, now Diamonde. A little bit of space opened up for Mohamed Diamonde there as he looks to switch it out. He's done well, he's found Hadji. The left angle of the box against Ralston, blasted into the area, it's blocked by the Celtic fullback. Breaks back to Yilmaz. Hadji still an option on the left, finds him. Yanis Hadji gets the ball into the box, cleared by Carter Vickers and out for a Rangers throw-in on the far side. We're in the final minute of the regulation time in the first period of extra time. As I said, there's going to be one added on at the end, so right now about 90 seconds left of the first period. 3-3 it is. Here's Sterling. Long ball from Sterling, looking for Tavernier. Baye wins the header, knocks it out for a Rangers throw-in on this near side. Czerny over it right now. Danilo comes towards him, and that's where it goes. Danilo gives it back to Czerny. And moving towards the box, knocks it to Dessers. Danilo trying to force it back to Dessers. Really well defended by Celtic though. And it was Baye who hooks it clear out to this near side. Hatate, Tavernier all over him. He was out of play off the Rangers captain for a Celtic throw. And we're into that one additional minute at the end of the first period of extra time with the scoreboard as it was at the end of regulation time. Celtic 3, Rangers 3.
Yeah, I felt for Hatate there, he's wanting an option, and he does over the other side of the pitch, and you'd think he's a sub as well, fresh, get yourself over the side of the ball, but doesn't. And Hatate's left with no choice but to turn back, and then Tavernier robs him.
Celtic do have one change remaining. We'll wait and see what Brendan Rodgers does with that. As the long ball comes forward, a header away by Tavernier into the Celtic half. Hatate gets it out to Baye on this near side. Rolls it back to his goalkeeper. Well, both sets of players, it's like they're walking on eggshells out there right now.
Yeah, I'm looking. Rangers have got 2 strikers on that's fresh. Both of them have come on as subs, so that might be an area where they could maybe exploit a weakness of Celtic if they're tired at the back.
Well, that Celtic change, which I think they're going to make for the start of the second period, because the first period's over, is James Forrest is going to come on. Scored in 3 League Cup finals in a row for him, for Celtic, 10 years ago now. But it is, as it was, the close of the regulation time, as I say, with Bayrami opening the scoring, Taylor's deflected effort equalising, Maida putting Celtic in front before Diamonde equalised with 15 left. Kuhn thought he'd won it with just a few minutes of the 90 left before Danilo took it to extra time, and at the end of the first period of that extra time, it remains Celtic 3, Rangers 3.
Yeah, the players all gathered over by the touchline, and instructions being given out. It is, I mean, clearly it is hugely physical at this stage, but it very much mental as well. Big demands being placed on all the players there. Conor Barron about to come on for the second period of extra time, which, well, Celtic, if they're putting on Forrest, he will be the 6th Celtic player to come on. Barron will be the 5th Rangers player. All theirs have come on at during the game up till now in terms of the periods during which the interruptions, if you like, but Barron coming on at half-time. I must admit, you get the point where you almost lose track of how many and when and how often they can be replaced, but clearly Rangers be on top of it. I assume Celtic too, and they're about to make those further changes for the last knockings of this one. We're about to get the board put up, I think. The referee's already out there. John Beaton just wants the players back. I mean, it used to be they didn't stop at all at half-time. In extra time, they have clearly. It's become a bit of a precedent. They have done it in recent times. But John Beaton wants them out. He wants to carry on. And it's going to be the 2 remaining changes for Rangers. So Conor Barron is indeed coming on, and Kieran Dowell is also making an appearance, as is James Forrest for Nicholas Kuhn. All the administrative work to be done, but Czerny is certainly off. I think Diamande's come off as well. He looked to be struggling there. And those are the changes, Dowell and Barron on. So we have 15 minutes left of play. And then the fun really would begin if that's what we end up with, and a penalty shootout. Back to Liam.
Yes, indeed. As the second half of extra time gets underway, Celtic doing so. Green and white hoops, left to right, under the lights here at Hampden. Rangers in the blue and white shooting west. And it is Celtic in possession with Hatate on the far side, firing it back to Carter Vickers, who then rolls it out to the left for Baye. Both teams have now made, struggling to keep across them, the substitutions. Both have made 6 apiece now, as Ralston goes back to Carter Vickers. Stick or twist in these 15 minutes to try and win the game now, or do you take your chances in a shootout? Just 4 times previously the League Cup final has been settled by penalties. As Celtic come down the left with Baye, skipping away from his man Dowell, who's just on, finds Maida. Maida now midway inside the Rangers half, back to McGregor, out to the left, touchlines through the legs of Baye, and out for a Rangers throw-in over on the far side. Do you get more solace in a shootout than you do with attacking the second period of extra time when it's sitting level as it is here, 3-3?
No, you go for the first period of the second period, put it that way, and you try to win the game. But then when it gets close to the end, you really don't want it. You'll go for penalties. But listen, it's a lottery then, isn't it?
That's certainly what the losing managers say when they lose a shootout.
Ah, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You know, no pressure on the goalkeepers. It could be the hero, but the guys has taken it. That's a difficult one.
Scales clears up to Maida. Blocked by Sterling. Maida claims by the hand. The referee agrees. He thinks it's deliberate as well, and it's a yellow card to Nicholas Raskin. And the yellows being brandished all over the place right now.
Yeah, I think that was to Sterling, wasn't it, for the handball?
Yeah.
He just knocked it, goes to go. Yeah, you can clearly see he just puts a hand towards the ball. Not a bad yellow to take in that situation.
But you can see on the replay that it was deliberate. Scales side foots away from Dowell, rolls it to the left. The rain is swirling round Hampden again. Here's Hatate on the left. Baye in support, rolls it back instead to Scales inside his own half. Left to right of the circle here for Carter Vickers. Out to Ralston. Engels ahead of him, so too Forrest. Finds Forrest onto the chest of Engels. Wasn't a great ball by James Forrest. Rangers have it back. Raskin. Yilmaz going the overlap. This ball though in field's cut out by the heel of McGregor, who knew nothing about it. Ralston has it on this near side. Side foots it infield to Forrest. Turns to face the Rangers box. 3 Rangers players are around him. He's done really well to wriggle away from them. Finds Engels on the touchline. Rolls it back to Ralston, who in turn rolls it back to McGregor. Now Carter Vickers to McGregor. Infield it comes. Baye finds Hatate. Scales is in space to his left. Rolls it to the Irishman. Looks up at the Rangers box, and dearie me, he's hit that high over the bar. Remember him scoring a really fortunate goal for Aberdeen against Rangers at Pittodrie in a game there, and he was looking for that top right corner again. If the memories of that were coming back. Raskin's down.
Yeah, I think he was looking actually for Adamida, who had kind of got in between centre half and the full back, and I think that was the cross. He was I don't think he was trying to shoot from there, but he had the option to play out wide to Maeda on the left hand side. And that was a frustration, maybe when it doesn't come off, that the fans sort of are looking at that more simple pass from the centre half.
I think you've got to do that when it's, especially the second period, injury time, extra time. You've just got to move the ball quickly and simple. I think that's the most effective when you try and do something cultured and the legs are giving in at times and the mind is tired. You start doing things like that. We've seen it on a number of occasions in this extra time period, and it's only going to get worse. Even more nervous, and the tension comes that you realise you're getting close and one mistake's going to kill your team.
6 goals shared, 3-3. Just over 10 minutes of extra time remaining. McGregor loses out. Carter Vickers bails him out and wins it back for Celtic. Midway inside his own half. Flicks it out to Engels. Long ball looking for Maeda. Sterling's there though. He clears for Rangers. Raskin will try and keep it in play. He puts it forward, but it's eventually gone out for a Celtic throw in though inside their own half on this near side. Ralston bowling it back to Carter Vickers. The manager's going through the emotions of it all down below us. And it's back with Schmeichel, who finds Carter Vickers. We'll go back to the goalkeeper. Been such an eventful afternoon, particularly that second half of normal time. And Scales gets it out to Baye. Maeda tries the back heel, bounces off Tavernier though, and out for a throw-in for Celtic over on that far side. We have played 110 minutes, plus all that stoppage time as well. Here's Scales, infield to McGregor. Pushes it forward to Hatate on the halfway line. Then to McGregor, to Carter Vickers, and then out to Ralston on this near side. Out to Engels. Ralston's gone down off the ball. John Beaton's allowing them an advantage here. Forrest back to Callum McGregor. The Celtic players stayed down. Ralston, and the ref stopping play. And he flashes the yellow at Yanis Hadji.
Yeah, it was just, listen, it was just a block. He knew he was not going to be the one that's going to be able to track Ralston, and he got by him and he just blocks him off, and that gives him the yellow card. But you know, it's just a block, isn't it, really?
He's protesting his innocence, Hadji.
Yeah, I think his head clashes off Tony Ralston, and I don't think that was intentional. The block was though.
McGregor for Celtic, forward to Ida, midway inside the Rangers half. It's with Engels, twists it out to Ralston on the right, who's okay to continue. Now it's with Forrest, level with the edge of the D of the Rangers box. Low ball back along the grass there from Forrest to Engels. They've given it away through Ralston. Yilmaz loses out, Ralston bites back well. And back to Schmeichel. Schmeichel then squares it to Scales. Dowell trying to put the pressure on. Scales has dealt with it well. Baye gets it under control eventually. Infield to Hatate, and his pass infield was cut out by Danilo, but it comes to nothing. Breaks to Hatate, rifles it forward high. Maeda chases, Butman comes to the very edge of his box and clutches on. That was really close to being outside the area there. The Celtic supporters appealing against Jack Butland there, but that's going to be a Rangers ball.
Perfect judgment from the goalkeeper. As one of them, you're just praying it's going to come into the box on that first bounce, because you're right on it. You can't come outside. You've made up your mind to catch it, and it just comes in and no more. Just right on it.
I think because his left foot was outside the box momentarily, got the Celtic supporters excited as Hatate picks up a loose ball in the midfield. McGregor lobs it forward there into the centre circle for Engels. Trying to hold off his man. Here's Cropper, and the referee gives Celtic the free kick. There's a few head losses out there right now. You can understand that at this stage of a National Cup final. Celtic come away with it with just over 7 left extra time into the box. Maeda with a touch to Ida as a swing at it. Still Ida trying to win it back, and Rangers clear through Sterling. Adam Ida, who was the match winner in the Scottish Cup final in sunnier times back in May, with the late goal that settled it. Kuhn's goal went in about the same time as Ida scored in that one a couple of minutes earlier, but on this occasion the late goal wasn't enough for Celtic. But they do have it with Baye down the left level with the 18-yard line. Low ball in is booted away by Cropper. Scales with a header over on the left-hand side. Cut out there by Dowell, and out for a Celtic throw on the far side, albeit Scales has kept it in play. It looked like it was going out. Carter Vickers has it. Midway inside his own half. Short ball to his left for Baye. He goes back to Carter Vickers.
Celtic are the ones pushing, aren't they? I mean, Proper had to deal with that, with Ida just in behind them, ready to stick it in the net, so got it clear. But as Celtic in possession, can they find any quality? Again, ball given away.
Yeah, Edat, but then Hadji returns the favour, and it's now with Ralston out to Forrest on this near side. Forrest infield to Hatate. Low ball. Forrest picks up at the edge of the box. Lovely footwork from him initially, but he runs into Tavernier and Rangers clear. Danilo has it nicked off him by Engels. My goodness, you could slice the tension with a knife here. Here is Ralston. Ball back to McGregor. Low infield for Hatate. Barron gets a touch onto it. Breaks to McGregor. And now it's with Carter Vickers. Strides across halfway. Nicks it forward to Engels. Will win the throw-in on this near side of Yilmaz. Ralston's going to take the throw. Carter Vickers thought about the quick one, but it's been left to the right back. There's little over 5 minutes of extra time left. 3-3 here at Hampden.
That's been 9 minutes of brutality, this second period extra time. It's just, you said it, slugging it out, just trying to force something, but not got the legs or the mindset to do it.
And Callum McGregor with a poor ball again. I mean, he sets such high standards, but I can't remember a game where Callum McGregor's produced so many stray passes. That's another one.
In the second half, in this period of extra time especially, but listen, he's still looking for the ball, still moving, still doing his captain's role.
There's a Rangers ball on the near side. Yilmaz to take, midway inside his own half, pulls it up the line. Carter Vickers battling with Danilo. Eventually it pops out to Engels. His pass to Ralston was almost cut out by Hadji. Celtic clear long ball. He does head it out for a throw-in to Rangers on this near side. Yilmaz is over the throw. I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but does one of these teams deserve to win it in normal time and the extra time on top of it, do you feel, in normal play?
I think both teams deserve to win it, probably in the way that they run about things.
Yeah, but they're also scared to lose it, and that's a bad thing as well. And they're so tense, and just both of them.
Foul by Hatate, which the Celtic fans aren't happy with.
Just, you give it away. No, you give it away, and I get it. It's that time in the game. This looks as if it's going, obviously, to penalties, and who can have the strength and the energy to take quality penalty kicks. Yeah,
and then you wonder what end it's going to be taken at as well.
Yeah, they can't fashion a chance because they're so tired and sloppy and heavy-legged. It's all the ingredients rolled into this game now.
Certainly from a neutral point of view, you probably want it to go to penalties at this stage. Long ball from Butland. Hadji loses out to Ralston. Yilmaz trying to win it back. They're up the pitch here, Rangers, but Forrest onto it, and then it's played off Engels by Raskin for a throw-in on this near side for Rangers. And as it stands, there will be no stoppage time at the end of this period of extra time. So 3 minutes left to win it for one of these teams without the drama and torture of the shootout. Celtic win it back in the far side with Baye. Gets away from Tavernier. Squares it right of the centre circle for Engels. Out to Forrest on this near side. Celtic flooding forward. This is what they do. Ralston wins the corner off Proper. Bollins cut out. Celtic have a corner. 2.5 minutes to play here.
Yeah, and I think Willie, James Forrest is on it now. They're going to play it in. I thought they were going to take it short there. But no, get it into the box. Let's see if you can get somebody on the end of his scales coming up again. You know that he's half decent in the air. Tired Rangers team.
He'll make that front post run, Scales, won't he?
Yeah.
Outswinger coming up from Engels. Another poor corner. It's only half away though, but Raskin was in the right place to clear it for Rangers. Here is Forrest jinking in field, finding Scales. First time ball from Scales is poor. The outside of the boot, it was behind for a goal kick, and more seconds tick away towards penalties.
Yeah, and now you're talking about the nerves kicking in a little bit, and you'll want to give anything up here. and the managers on the sideline, the staff will be looking who's going to be taking a penalty, who's brave, who's actually able to take a penalty out of the group also. All them things are going through now, and I think the manager will hand that over to their staff, and then he will confirm everything just in that final moments before the penalty shootout. But it looks that way. It could happen, maybe some twist at the end.
On the basis of this extra time, I think they'd be getting the fresh players to hit the penalties, looking at some of them trying to swing a leg to kick the ball.
Inside of play for a throw-in on this near side. It's gone Rangers' way. We are in the final minute of extra time. 3-3. Down the line with the throw-in from Yilmaz, looking for Hadji. Bounces off the Romanian, out for a Celtic throw. Is there to be one last chance? Is there to be one last opportunity to win the cup before penalties? It is Volston with the throw-in, just inside his own half, down the line, headed away by Raskin. Engels gets it to Hatate. Challenge from Barron. Breaks back into the centre circle for Scales. 20 seconds left. Square to Carter Vickers. Ralston has it on this near side. He goes back to his keeper. It's going to a shootout, folks. This final is going to a shootout. Schmeichel's long ball out to Forrest. Breaks off Yilmaz. Raskin's there. Finds Yilmaz. That's the extra time up. John Beaton is about to take this final to a penalty shootout. Extra time is over. It's finished 3 apiece. And the 24-25 League Cup final is going to be decided from the penalty spot. The first time in more than 10 years the League Cup final has gone to a shootout, and just the 5th time all told. A quite dramatic second half. The rest of it was fairly forgettable across the piece, really, although Bayrami had Rangers in front just before half-time. Taylor's deflected effort equalised. Maida, just a few minutes later, put Celtic in front. Diamonde equalising with 15 to play before Kuhn and Danilo traded late goals. The extra time, as it often is, was a non-event, and it finishes after the extra 30 minutes. Celtic 3, Rangers 3.
Liam, thank you very much indeed. Still a little bit of overtime for our commentary team to do. I must say I didn't make a single note other than substitutions and bookings in that extra time period. Willie, it's so often the case. Now it is all about nerve and technique and the players to have the mental toughness, isn't it?
Yeah, and the want, Richard, you know, you've got to have players that want to take these penalties. It's a really stressful environment out there. They've got to be comfortable and confident that they can find the back of the net. Even when they are comfortable and confident, it doesn't always happen. But that last half hour was just a dreadful watch, wasn't it? After being so roundly entertained in the second 45 minutes, the second half of that game, nothing to complain about. The legs just went. I think it was all in the mind, wasn't it? You're seeing players just throwing legs out to the ball where they should be thinking about trying to take it down and concentrating on controlling the ball, and that just didn't happen. But you're right, that happens a lot when you go into extra time. It's now about, I don't know, a little team talk down there, a little kind of a deciding who's going to take the penalties. That many changes as well that there's still a bit of work to be done. I don't know if they would have had their penalty kick takers before the game. Perhaps they would have. If not, it doesn't look like it. It looks like Philippe Clement's get his notepad out and thrown it to the crowd. Who fancies taking a penalty? We'll soon find out. Listen, great second half. Totally full of everything that was good in the game, apart from maybe the silky soccer. But had you an end of the seat, you go into time added on, you go into that 30 minutes, and it was just a dreadful watch. But it's now nerve time for these players out there. They've got to be strong enough to put themselves forward and take the penalty and have the confidence to find the back of the net.
Callum McGregor has been in conversation with the referee John Beaton. Kasper Schmeichel there too, and John Beaton now calling for James Tavernier to come across to join him. There will be the toss of the coin, and this of course important. Now, He's actually, they're tossing initially to decide which ends the penalties will be taken at. So he's pointed to our left, I think. So it is going to be over at the end where the Rangers supporters are. So that is the ends where the penalties will be taken. They've obviously, presumably, further discussed exactly the order in terms of will it be Rangers, will it be Celtic first, and it looks like it will be Rangers who will be taking the first penalty, and it looks like it will be James Tavernier who will be taking the penalty. So the captain will be stepping up, he will be taking the responsibility. He just needs a football, which he's currently standing halfway down the pitch, looking around, wondering where on earth he's going to get a football to use in the penalty shootouts. Everyone, I think, around the stadium is standing right now. Everyone is on their feet. The destiny of the Premier Sports Cup final will be decided in a relatively short space of time, and it will be decided in the most dramatic way possible when it comes to football. Schmeichel having a quick word with James Tavernier. He's going to head into the goals. Jack Butland has taken his position over on the far side. The penalty shootout, Liam, is about to begin.
He's gone to penalties 4 times before 87-88. Rangers won that. That was also after a 3-3 draw with Aberdeen. Raith Rovers after a 2-2 with Celtic at Ibrox 94-95. Rangers after a 3-3 with Dundee United in 07-08. Aberdeen after a goalless draw with Cali Thistle in 2014. James Tavernier has the first chance. Rangers have lost their last 2 penalty shootouts to St Johnstone in the Scottish Cup and Eintracht Frankfurt in the Europa League final. This is their 4th in the League Cup. They've won 2 out of the 3. Here goes Tavernier, right-footed, scores! Schmeichel guessed the right way, but Tavernier gets Rangers off and running in the shootout. 1-0.
It's a good penalty, isn't it? I mean, yeah, pressure, steps up, gets the right connection, hooks it away from Kasper Schmeichel. No chance for the goalkeeper. Brilliantly taken penalty from James Tavernier.
Celtic taking part in their 8th League Cup penalty shootout. They've won 4 and lost 3, as I said, including that final against Raith Rovers in 94. And Adam Ida is first up for them against Butland. The Rangers supporters behind Butland's goal doing their best to put Ida off. Here goes the big Celtic striker who won the Scottish Cup, right-footed, side puts it home into the bottom right corner. Cool as you like, and it is 1-1.
Yeah, listen, held his nerve for a young man, and he's got those Rangers supporters that are well behind the goal, though they're not on top here, which is, I think, makes a big difference at Hampden. But he was calm, collective, and he just side foots it and puts the goalkeeper away the wrong way. He has a routine, Adam Ida always, and that's what he did exactly perfectly to keep Celtic level with Rangers.
Yanis Hadji is next against Kasper Schmeichel, who is doing all kinds of talking. His old man was an expert at that as well. Hadji stands hands and hips now. He begins his run up, right-footed penalty from Hadji into the corner. Goes bottom right. Again Schmeichel guessed correctly, but again he couldn't get there, and it is 2-1 Rangers in the shootout.
Brilliant. I mean, to find the energy and the concentration to take these penalties, 3 brilliantly taken ones. He's given Hadji, has given Schmeichel some, because Schmeichel was all over him, giving him the verbal. Hadji sticks it away to Schmeichel's left and then gives him a bit back.
Callum McGregor, who has never ever lost a cup final, will take this left-footed penalty against Butland. Rangers 2-1 up. Tavernier and Hadji converted. Ida did for Celtic. It's McGregor, begins his run up, left-footed, and it goes. Brilliant penalty by McGregor. Once again, Butland sent the wrong way. McGregor deadly from the spot, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, listen, quality from the captain, and keeps his team. That again, and when you start, obviously, you know, you're always under pressure because you're not the first to take a penalty. You just got to try to keep your nerve, and he did it so well. But he's got the technique, hasn't he? And he's got the quality, power, pace.
Next up, the man who took this final to penalties, really, with his late equaliser in normal time. Danilo wearing the number 99 for Rangers. It is 2-2 as Danilo steps up. Right-footed penalty coming up from Danilo, and he slots it home, bottom left. Schmeichel guesses wrongly this time, and Danilo puts Rangers back in front. All penalties converted so far.
All excellent penalties, I've got to say, haven't they?
Yeah, they're finding a way, Pat, after that tiredness and the brutal 30 minutes of extra time to get quality when it comes to the penalties, and he just opens up his foot as if he's going to put it to Schmeichel's left end, closes it at the last minute, sends him the wrong way. Brilliantly taken penalty by Danilo.
Arne Engels has a 100% record from the spot for Celtic this season. He's been their main penalty taker. He's next, and he's facing Butland right now. Right-footed penalty from the young Belgian. The Rangers fans twirling the scarves behind the goal. Here he goes, right-footed, and he scores! Butland went the right way, but Engels had enough power in it to find the right corner, and it is 3-3, as it was at the end of extra time.
Yeah, I was worried there because it was a short run-up. I think it was about 3 or 4 strides, but he hits him with pace, even though Butland goes the right way. Normally when you go the right way, you've got a chance, but it was past him into the bottom corner. Really good penalty from Engels.
Ridvan Yilmaz next for Rangers. We're approaching the business end of the shootout. A chance to become a hero, and also equally a chance to become a villain, and Yilmaz will take for Rangers. It is 3-3. Here's Yilmaz, saved! Schmeichel saves! Down low to his left, and Yilmaz heartbroken. It wasn't a great kick, and Schmeichel hands Celtic the advantage. It stays 3-3.
Yeah, left foot, Billy, yeah.
Hooks it to Schmeichel's there. It's a really good save, but he's got accuracy, but there's no pace in the ball to get it beyond Schmeichel. It's a really good stop from him, and the main games have worked, and Yilmaz is missed.
Real Hatate is next for Celtic, and this would put them on the cusp of the League Cup if he can convert. Real Hatate moves back towards the 18-yard line. Now he's running towards the ball, right-footed, and he scores! Brilliant penalty again! Celtic picture perfect here, and Hatate smashes it into the left-hand side of the goal. It is 4-3 Celtic in the shootout, and Rangers simply cannot afford to miss.
Yeah, listen, it was a brilliant penalty again. The goalkeeper goes the right way, and it's Jack Butland. Oh my word, there we go.
Well, we remember Joe Hart took one in the penalty shootout against Aberdeen in the Scottish Cup semis last season, and he missed it. Redeemed himself with a save after that. But if Jack Butland doesn't score this, Celtic have won the League Cup. It is as plain and simple as that. The Rangers goalkeeper, Butland against Schmeichel, right-footed, scores. What a spot kick it was, under immense pressure. Yeah, and that makes it 4-4. But Daizen Maeda strides forward with a chance to win the cup.
Yeah, he took on the responsibility right on his shoulders, Butland. And I'll tell you, there was respect there from Schmeichel because he didn't even get in his face. You see the old goalkeepers union there, Pat, and he just goes back on his line. But anyway, Butland slams it past him. But Celtic have a chance to win it.
Yeah, and that man, Maeda, stepping up. Listen, it's a chance. Butland, if he steps out, he will be the hero after scoring his penalty and making a save. But
well, let's see
what happens.
This is it now. It all comes down to Maeda, right-footed, scores! Maeda scores into the bottom left corner, and it is a 22nd League Cup for Celtic. When the temperature was at its hottest, Maeda was at his coolest in front of the Rangers supporters as well. Slots it into the bottom left. More joy, unbridled joy for Brendan Rodgers and for these Celtic supporters and those Celtic players who are a winning machine. They've been put through the ringer this afternoon into the early evening, but once again they've got their hands on silverware. A 22nd League Cup and a 119th major trophy, which puts them on top of the world of Scottish football. And Maeda with the decisive spot kick after a thriller here at the National Stadium. Bayrami, and Rangers before the break. Taylor and Maida turned it round. Diamonde equalised. Kuhn put Celtic back in front before Danilo took it to extra time. And Ridvan Yilmaz it is who is the fall guy. His penalty saved by Kasper Schmeichel. And that afforded Daisen Maida the opportunity to win the cup for Celtic. Put through the ringer, yes. Victory, yes, for Brendan Rodgers. It finished here at Hampden after a blockbuster. Celtic 3, Rangers 3, with Celtic winning 5-4 in the shootout.
The Scottish